allow me to do the recap. You see, last week we fought fucking Shadowfuck over there, and all of his mushroom people, and that didn't go so well. I mean, technically, in quotes, we won, but we also didn't lose. There's that, right?
Stalemate's are a thing.
Yeah, stalemate kind of thing, where the Bastion and Quill went back to break a bunch of stones to stop some sort of darkening ritual. Despite everything we did, the guy still managed to cut open a piece of the tree and steal a heart and be like, peace! And just teleported.
Half the heart.
I thought it was only like a small piece. But no, he got part of the heart, said, peace, y'all, and teleported away, like tree strode away once Stivnu showed up. Because Holson turned into a seed or something. And,
I did not turn into a seed. I had a seed in my pocket.
Yeah, and it decided,
it
decided to dig you into a grave. And then now that grave came Sivnu.
Sinew?
Yeah, that one. Came dragged.
Very different!
Yeah, right before fucking what's-his-face, Galen was about to die, he had a message from some sort of god. I'm calling him Jurgle Jr. Writer of death, scratching out his name in the book or something. Sounds awfully like a scribe, but Lycan's very, very adamant that he's not the scribe of the dead. So, Jurgle Jr. over there made a pact with Galen. They said, hey, want to come back and kill things? He's like, sure, why not? Came back, gave everyone temporary HP, hit the guy with 2 nat 20s, I think. It was fucking brutal. And
2 nat 20s, it was great.
Thematic as
he was not prepared. He was not prepared for that.
Every roll I do is thematic. I'm just saying.
And Akira used his last spell slot to
bring
Francis
very on
up,
point.
because we needed Francis to stop the ritual thing from happening, which he did. And now the only people awake are Akira, Francis, Galen, and Callum, while Bellows and Holson are unconscious.
Taking a little nap.
And there's no more healing left, so it is what it is.
Well, don't forget, there's an entire fucking dragon staring at us.
She's not real.
She's definitely real.
Can't prove that to me.
She's a real dragon.
But where we ended was the guy tree strode away, and we are now in the aftermath of the battle. Feeling kind of empty on Akira's side, because, god damn it, everything we did, and he still got away.
Francis feels the same, my dude.
Alright. So you're here. Galen, the form has faded from you. And you are feeling a little bit drained. Especially being at 1 HP.
Yeah.
Being held by a large oaken and vine-covered claws and talons.
And he still didn't do my token.
Yeah, finally came in. I've been waiting this entire time for this shit to fucking load. I shall do your token.
Akira, watching the guy teleport away, just releases a visceral draconic roar of anger, and begins to swear out where he was in draconic.
Can I start casting Cure Wounds?
Do you have the spell slot?
Yes.
Then you can.
I have 2 spell slots, so I'm gonna heal our friends. First, Holson.
Oh boy.
Why
did you roll initiative?
I didn't mean to. Why is it rolling? Fuck
if needed, I have 2 spare spell slots for healing if necessary.
+2, you get 9, Holson.
Yeehaw!
And
then
your points go away as soon as you get up.
And then I give that to Bellows.
9. I'm gonna wake up in the air, I guess.
So wait. So my form faded, right? Like
Your form
that's
faded.
what you said. Cool.
You can turn back into your default state.
All right.
And there's still somewhat of a portal underneath Sivnu.
A portal? Can I see into that portal, or
Yes.
am I too high up? Is it like her grove?
You're being, I guess the word would be like baby carried, just in their claws.
Okay. I'm just gonna stay still.
As you see the colossal form of Sivnu, which you haven't seen the dragon form in a while.
I have not.
Okay, you should be able to pull out your token now.
So yeah, no. Francis, will slowly climb off of the tree, and and kind of like look up. So, who do we have the pleasure of helping us out with all this? Looking up at the dragon.
The eyes slant down towards you as the neck arcs and rears about, squinting down.
Francis doesn't budge.
It's good to see you in person.
So you must know me then.
Much, I've been told by my precious student.
Okay, now I know.
Holston just her eyes are open, peering down at you, she can't move. She's in claws. She's peering down.
Yeah, you're not grasped in claws. You're being gently held.
Yeah, she's gonna assume she can't move because there's two other people in the same area that are large.
Gallon's pulling out one of those potions, and he's going to drink one of the blood ones.
Okay. You do so, and you feel a fullness as your rage inside of you and all that thirst and starts to subside.
And to Francis, looking up. So, what now?
Now, we find that craven bastard and reduce his whole corrupt regime to ash. Seal my glory.
Well, tough luck, buddy, but Francis kind of does a half-assed looking around the tree from where he's standing. I don't think he's still here.
That's why I said find him.
Look, I don't think we're in any condition to go be chasing someone like him. Alright?
There's much above ground that is happening.
Wait, what do you mean above ground? I took care of the Jabberwock.
You took care of a main force. And if you took care of a Jabberwock by yourself, it was not a full form.
Uh-huh. Well, in that case, that means I still have work to do. Francis kind of limps over to the statue and starts doing his best, or he climbs up to the shoulder again. Alright. Work isn't done, everybody. We still got shit to do. As he starts having the mech start walking out.
But first, I think you've done enough in the grove. Just stay. I'll aid the ones above. I'll be back.
Francis kind of stops and then looks.
Watch over my precious student.
You're talking, if you mean Holson. Always.
Guys.
So,
this is more of akin to what you're actually looking at.
She's so big.
It's
pretty cool.
Hmm.
She is a tree dragon.
Just to give you guys a feel.
You hear
Um,
some.
as
no.
they begin
ahead.
to
Or you just show them the fight dragon.
I shall show them the force of a very pissed off teacher.
Listen, let your primary energy cure this man.
She picks you up,
Yay.
A little dragon man?
just like by the scruff. I need you to
Yes.
speak for me.
Let it be so.
You, gnome,
Yeah.
use your technologies. Ensure that they're safe. The Bastion shall stay here.
Francis
And-
kind of like takes in a deep breath. Wasn't very fond of that, but he nods. As
And-
I'll go ahead and go. Sorry.
You go ahead.
No, as Francis will go ahead using his one of his first level or his last first level spell slot to get all of the shards of the burnt up what was it turret that he had, as it magically starts to mend and put itself back together and crawl back up to him. As I will immediately shield pulse.
Hey, Lycan.
Yes.
Look at Zara's token down there. Notice that she's actually transparent. You can
Yep.
see the thing past her.
You see right through her.
That's really cool.
That's neat.
So we do transparent plastic in Hero Forge. It actually makes the token transparent.
Like ghostly.
Okay, that's actually really cool.
Yeah. So, being held by the scruff, you're taken upwards to where Sivnu clings to the stone and rock as seems to meld through it. And then on the other side is a humanoid form, still holding you by the scruff. It would be very awkward for a dragon again to show up in the middle of the city. Go find the one of importance here and let them know that it'll be done swiftly.
Problem was that the potential leaders were slain, or one of them. I do not know if they're keen to trust the other.
Then I trust you find someone else.
Is she doing just me, or is Holson and Phyllis?
Everybody else is fucking pretty much down for the count. You're the healthiest. That's why she picked you.
No, okay. Then
So
I
she
will-
set us down then?
She set you down.
Okay.
Okay. So is it me and Gallon?
Nope, it's just
Yeah.
you on surface.
Oh, just me.
Just you.
Just you.
Okay.
Be a mouthpiece. Do it.
Yeah, I'm her mouthpiece. Did she give me a message she wants me to say, or is it just sort of let them know it'll be taken care of?
That's basically the message.
Okay.
You can add flair if you want, I guess.
I guess would be survival or investigation or persuasion to figure out where the fuck a leader would be.
Well, I need to go find Ivy because she's the closest thing to a leader, but I'll do persuasion. 26.
26. You talk to a lot of, like, there is a lot of people, like, moving around and, like, troops moving through. You find a couple troops. They point you in the direction of the city hall, where a good portion of, like, basically a war table would be.
On the way there, I am going to drink a potion of healing and a magic potion just in case I need a spell slot. So I get
Uh,
6, get 8 hit points back,
as you
and 2 for soul spells.
Yeah, as you were running around and like you look back, Sivnu is gone through the crowd. Getting to City Hall, you see large stones, boulders, tiny little fireballs, and things like that of pink and fuchsia hitting small building, as well as the residents, those of Arcane and Divine. You do see a number of other like militia, martial warriors taking down corrupted beings, form stealers. A lot of it has been cleaned up, seemingly to be fading. But you can definitely tell that there is heavy chucks and of stone against stone from the echoes of the night. As you make it to City Hall,
When I enter or get near City Hall, because I don't know if they'll actually let me in with all this stuff.
there is a small regiment that blocks your path.
I will request that I need to speak to the acting leader of the town and let them know that the problems will soon be solved. We have cured the tree with the grove of his darkness below.
Unsure on how that is. Roll me a persuasion check just to get past these guys.
Only 14.
Only 14. Seeing you, they send one of the guards out and up, saying that there's a messenger and things like that. As coming out is a large lizard folk gentleman that has the markings and scale pattern as well as the physical features of Komodo dragon. Comes down and responds, "I have been told to bring you."
Yes. I have a message for the acting leader.
Ivy and Regina are waiting. Come swiftfoot.
I'll follow him.
Yes. As you get inside, there is clearly a war table being set up. Though that they were under the impression of slight surprise, but thankfully, due to Francis's willingness to tell Ivy and get her to talk to her mother, some things were prepped. You enter in, and Regina is scuffed and scraped up, and a little bit of soot on them. Ivy is not to be seen, and there seems to be several other either what looks to be a mage-like character, as well as another set of knights. How did you bring news?
Yes. You're acting leader, yes.
I am Regina. I am the mayor of this city.
Then yes. I bring you news that soon it will all be well. And I will relate her the story of what happened down below, as well as what the message that Sinew gave to me. He's not doing the long version, he's doing the annotated version.
Notes. So, it was a calculated attack. Thank you.
From one Mr. Black. He escaped. And we will find
I hope you do. This mess is going to be quite hard to find a quarry of that elusiveness, but we did meet a similar individual running away.
Does it match the description?
Yes. Tried to kill Ivy. Tried to kill my daughter, but luckily Lieutenant Grotto got there, as she indicates to the Komodo lizard folk.
We did a number on him down below. Wasted a lot of his resources, time, and energy. I apologize we could not act before the attack, but we did what we could.
Yes, a lot of lives were saved in this, though there are many injuries. Thank you for the message.
Tiffany said that she was heading towards the orchard, yeah? Or...
She was heading out somewhere to take care of this.
I don't know where to tell them to keep eyes on. I will stay here and help them with the war council stuff. Because Akira has a mind for war.
Mm-hmm. So, down below, you have been left to your own devices. Basically to heal and rest up as much as you can in the moment.
I actually think Holson would go find the man that they found. So she'd walk down and get to that area.
After Simnu would have left, if we're confined down here, Francis would look over to everyone. How's everyone doing? Everyone's feeling all right?
Olsen and Bellows just covered in blood. Gallon also covered in blood.
Francis too.
Not doing great, but I'm alive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes alive is just better.
And Gallon is he's a little shaken. Look, his eyes are actually darting around the room at the people who were conscious during this.
Mm-hmm.
Francis remembers, but that's for a different conversation.
Making eye contact with you.
He's yeah.
Well, that being said, I think the worst is over now. I'm worried about everyone up top, but seeing as, your teacher, Holsen, seems to have the situation under control. That being said, what about Robert? What happened with him?
Oh, he's follow me. I will lead them to Robert.
You'll lead them to Robert.
Yeah,
during all this time, the Bastion has been destroying those darkened dreams, just bashing the shit out of walls.
He was told one thing and he really followed through.
I guess we'll limp along. Well, Gallon especially. He's at 1 HP. Gallon's at 1 HP.
With that temp HP eating you.
Yeah, no. Francis is walking the mech. He's using the mech as, to walk for him.
Mm-hmm.
So that's everyone. We're walking at a slow pace, taking it easy.
As soon as you get to the dreaded lift.
Oh, this fucking thing again.
Oh, fuck.
100% Ingrid can't go with you guys.
Yeah, Ingrid.
No.
You know what?
Before we even get to it, I stop Francis like, no, she cannot come. She will not fit. Bellows barely fit. Gallon barely fit. She will not fit.
I think it'll be easier now that Akira isn't here for the extra weight too.
Oh yeah, it was Akira. Sure.
All right, lead the way.
Callum stayed by the tree.
Okay. Yeah. I don't. It did. I assume Quill came with us.
Yeah, Quill came with, not wanting to
Okay.
be alone.
With the weirdo.
Yeah.
I
Actually,
understand that.
yeah. Gallon looks down to Quill. So, how are you doing?
I'll be fine.
All right. I'll. You know what? I'll offer him a healing potion.
He's fine.
You
He's
need it more.
okay.
And like he's shying away from you a little bit.
Yeah, I thought so.
You scared the poor man.
All right.
He didn't pass the wisdom check when you did your form of dread.
We'll keep walking, I guess.
Mm-hmm. You enter the small lift and begins to bring you back up. Some little turbulence shakes that now that the adrenaline has stopped pumping so much, starting to feel all those cuts, bruises, and wounds fester and burn a little bit. As you make it to the next floor, exiting out and returning back to that center chamber, which I will take you to because that makes the most sense. As you get here, the little brigand man is actually over here trying to see what scraps he can utilize for this device. As he hears your unsoftened footsteps, he looks behind him. Hey, hello? Hello?
Hi.
We saved your friend.
I could feel a lot of pain. He's actually at lower health now.
Interesting.
You know, Francis is kind of staying back a little bit as he's just kind of observing.
Okay. Staying back, Quill's there.
Like he's in the room, but like he's still by the door, you know?
Mm-hmm. I smell Civ. Even more than I did before.
He was here.
She's here.
Somewhere. Above ground.
Happy days. Were you able to stop him? Is Ingrid alright?
I don't know if Ingrid's alright. We haven't been above ground, so I don't know. Ingrid's the statue, isn't it?
Ingrid is the tree.
The tree.
Oh, the tree. He took a little, a bit of the heart within the tree, but he didn't get the whole thing.
I don't know.
Your tree's still alive.
Yes. But I don't think your grove will heal as fast.
It's only part of it, right? Part of her heart.
Just part.
I
It would have been worse, but she'll gesture down to Quill. He seemed to figure out some things. And it seemed to slow the fall. But
You see, like, little, like, tears, like, crawl down his face. Thank you.
we'll try to get the heart back. What little he took.
I'm not sure if it'll work, but what the consequences would be. But if there's a chance, I'd like
Keep an eye out
to
for him.
think, sir. You are all beaten up.
Oh no, we don't look good.
Oh no, you pardon me, but you look like hell.
Yeah.
I hadn't had time to make any potions.
You're fine.
Hey, you can feel free to rest here. I've blocked out any other passages.
Resting does sound nice.
Yes, there shouldn't be any pixie holes.
Francis speaks up for the first time. Not really so sure sleeping down here would be for the best. Keep in mind, time moves slower down here.
Who's that?
It's Francis. He's with us.
You smell familiar.
What did he say?
You smell familiar.
Francis kind of like lets out a, just a sudden kind of chuckle. Yeah, well, funny thing how everything worked out, Robert.
Hobbles a little over.
Hmm?
He fucking grows. He hobbles a little bit over. I'm guessing the rest of the group makes way.
Yeah. Hey, like, can I use my divine sense?
Sure. What are you trying to do?
I just want to see if there's still the necrotic, like, fungus in the air.
It seems to be fading.
Alright. I'll just whisper to the group while he's walking over. The fungus is dissipating.
It seems like there's nothing here channeling it to grow and maintain. Or something was canceling it out.
Alright.
Francis just kind of stands there, watching.
Well, I'll be. Are you the child? Or descendant? I don't know how long it's been.
Francis kind of takes in a shallow breath as he reaches into his bag and pulls out the drawing. Yeah, I'm their kid.
I see. Huh.
And
One of the miracle generation.
it's one way of putting it.
Well,
Francis is having a difficult time with the situation.
I thank you for the aid.
Yeah, well, it seems like you had a large part in how everything played out as well. Your your toys, your automatons, the whole collection of them made quite a show during the centennial.
Were people hurt?
Also played, huh?
Were people hurt?
I I don't know, to be honest. I know during the very beginning, one of the unfortunate guard got the business end of the Jabberwock when it finally came to its senses, but after literally crashing it through the crust of the earth into the grove, I don't know what's happened since.
I see. So, the barrier's been breached,
In a manner of speaking, yeah.
which means the temporal shift that was in place should have normalized by now.
Only wait and see, I guess.
Uh,
Needless to say, I'm a fan of your work.
It's not the most perfect thing, but it works.
On the contrary, it's some of the most advanced blueprinting and work I've seen in a long time. As a matter of fact, Ingrid still stands and was a large part in protecting the grove, protecting the heart.
I'm glad. Feel free to rest. I'll be around. And he hobbles over back to the circle.
Francis still just kind of waits there, not really sure what to do.
All right. Akir.
Yes.
You have been notified that there has been something strange as one of the druids that you and your group has met before comes in. There's something going on with the fields.
Healing or not?
They're grasping at the animated trees, tearing them apart. Almost like roots. Like the city's fighting back.
This has to be a work of a
It's crawling forth all the way around from the south to the west.
I'm gonna turn to I honestly can't remember her name. Ivy's mother.
Regina.
Regina. Why does he take?
Mhm.
Who's Regina? Is this good news? Is City fighting for you?
I'm not too sure, but I'll take any good luck we have. Any fortune.
For too long, you have the city back. Then we can see what to do about the election. That way.
See. Thank you. And thank you for your aid. And the group that you're traveling with.
I give her a polite nod before making my way out to help people around the town.
As you are helping around the town, you notice a definite disparity and almost silence that starts to come forth as time progresses. No more pixies, no more form stealers. Just exhausted men, women, children. As you hear, you go ahead.
I was saying I can't relate to bolster these people, make them feel better about what's happening.
All right, roll me. How are you planning on bolstering them?
Through motivational words, as he does. Trying to be a leader, let them know that they're not alone and that they survived.
You're gonna roll me persuasion or performance.
Both of those are the same. Yeah, 13.
13. There was a bit of hardship, but with those words and the sudden, almost silence of the conflicts outside, as well as messengers coming through, the words bring some cheer. It doesn't reach everyone, but it does do an effect.
Yeah, people are feeling it.
As behind you once again is this large bark-like skinned, bark-skin colored tiefling woman. Looks like you did well for yourself.
Yes, I do. How goes the cleansing?
It had some scrapes. But I am not without my resources.
That's the place that dragon such as yourself.
Don't have long here. Shall we go down?
I believe I helped as much as I can.
Grabs your shoulder as you meld downward back into the grove, where none of the team is there except for Callum. It never wants to stay in one place. This way.
Oh,
My student awaits.
yes, I follow.
Reaching to the area of the, like, underneath the crank system, Sivnu grabs you once again and you shift through a portal, making your way into that corridor. Do. As all of
Actually,
you,
after talking to Robert for a little bit, not knowing day, Francis went back down to the lift and went down. He's working on the Ingrid mech.
oh, okay. So
Yeah,
Callum
but she
and
didn't-
Francis is there, but you know,
Yep.
still the same thing unless you want to stay with Francis.
No, I'll go with Sydney.
Okay.
Yeah. No, Francis. You just see Francis mumbling to himself like he's as he's just working the mech by himself.
All right. Do.
Actually, while you're passing by, he has the limp hand that was making it. Why are you? Huh?
God. Years.
Francis is going through things right now.
Yeah.
Got through some shit. Away with you, Francis. Into the hole you go.
Go on.
As you enter in, Sivnu looks around, and Holson, you see them come out of a ringed portal of green and wood and flowers.
Which I recognize immediately.
As it disperses as Sivnu comes through.
The Kira like shakes his shoulders, loosen him up. Still lying around, I see. It's been hours.
Sivnu approaches Holson, grasps her and like brings her in for a hug. My student. Oh, my
I will
poster.
hug her. I am still very injured.
Well, you
It's a
are.
limp body, essentially.
Scratch your precious face.
Didn't touch my face, of course, but definitely hurt. It was. Make sure your friend was okay, though. He's perfectly fine. Also a little hurt, but I'm okay. I'll be fine. I'll sleep it all. But it's rough. It was very rough. She's
Puts you
like
down.
trying to keep like a face of like, I handled that. I could do it. Ugh.
Wait, what's up?
Person is trying to act tough.
I was trying to act tough. She's just like, I did it. I did what was asked of me.
You did.
Didn't think I was gonna die.
And I'm very proud of you. But it was also foolish.
Was I not supposed to do that? I was told to go find him.
Find him and tell me what happened.
But he would have taken the whole heart if we had not.
And if I did not intervene, if you did not see me and take the seed.
I'm glad I did take the seed. But I'd always planned on seeing you. I wasn't able to contact you. But definitely didn't think the seed would work like that, though. Just surprising. I thought it was just, you could track me. You knew where I was.
Seed
You
works.
pop out of the ground.
Once there was enough of a signal or a connection, I could have made a way through using an arcane gate.
While they're talking like it, I would like to do two rooms on both Gallon and the little Fey guy.
Sure.
Yeah, help that little Fey guy.
There's Gallon for 12.
Yeah.
And little Fey guy.
Oh, thank you. When you do that, Galen puts his arm on yours and goes, "Thank you."
You look a little rough out there.
Little
Just
Fey
a
guy
little.
is now at 33.
Alright, at least he's feeling better.
He is doing his best.
Here is not for the time for talk. I will talk to you later.
Okay.
Reverend,
We'll see you.
as she walks, my friend picks him up.
I'm gonna go and hand a minor healing potion, or my last little one, to Belos.
She will gladly take it.
Yeah. Here you go.
Let us return to surface. I have much to
Okay.
Plus 7.
Sure.
Sounds good.
She's now at 14.
As we walk, I will tell them what's happening up on top.
Before we leave, as Sifnu goes to walk towards him, she'll tap Sifnu on the back and just whisper the name of the place that we're staying. And give her the directions, be like, well, it was next to the statue, but that's not there anymore. But we'll be there if you do want to talk more.
When we talk, it probably won't be me in the flesh.
That's fine. It's nice seeing you again. Catch up with your old friend.
Yes.
And
Question:
get to the surface.
Yes.
Is the path to the surface as
Every other path is blocked, except for the keystone. Which
well? Francis will take a little extra. Ingrid Beck gets back to the.
Okay.
And he's working on mending it the entire way up.
You're breaking up, bud.
Yeah.
Hold on.
I have a question.
I have an answer.
That better?
Yes. So
All right.
far.
Continue with
Francis
your
will
thing.
go about any method necessary in order to get that mech to the surface. So if it takes a while, then it takes a while, but he's working on fixing it the entire way back.
Well,
Is my sword still in the statue?
Well, one thing at a time.
Okay.
well, if you use the port key to get to the cathedral, like you did before, it should be able to go with you. And technically, yes, it is still near the tree, but it's on the ground.
I'll just apparate my sword back to me and put it in my sheath. Is Callum just going to stay down here?
Callum's looking at the wounds of this tree.
They know where we stay if they need us.
Yeah, currently examining what looks to be possibly blood of your quarry. I'm guessing you take the sword and go through the port key?
Oh yeah, I apparate the sword back to me and I take the port key.
So it would have been about an hour's worth of mending, so 2d4 times 60. Or 2d4 times, 60, because it's a minute casting for mending each.
Yep. And like I said, Francis is just working on the entire trip up. And I am having issues with my computer, and I apologize.
It's okay. It's okay.
And if it's not fully healed, that's fine. A little bit of battle damage towards the event will be nice.
You're able to heal it most of the way up.
Yep. But there'll still be some battle scars and whatnot.
There's definitely discoloration to it. A lot of like micro cracks and things like that make it look like have a marble texture instead of porcelain.
Yep. But once we get to the surface, hopefully there's some people, because there's still people walking about, right?
Yes, there are people walking about, cleaning up the mess, checking in on each other, as they notice the large statue warrior mech.
Yeah, Francis is not on its shoulder anymore. He's kind of like walking a few paces behind it. But slowly but surely he moves it back to the spot on the fountain. Have it climb up to its pedestal, and instead of being in the normal pose that it was beforehand, I'm not sure, I can't remember what the pose was, has the Ingrid raise the sword up in like a pose of victory, and then let it stay there.
Mm-hmm. Roll me just general charisma check at advantage.
I can't at the moment.
I will roll it for you then.
Mm-hmm.
Francis E. Stein. Avantage
I'll be right back.
Charisma. 18. It was an 18 and a natural 1.
Well, good, good thing for the
This
advantage.
was advantage.
Yeah. So you see a lot of people like have relief on their face, a combination between Akir's cheerful words of encouragement and victory, as well as the shining symbol of overcoming the unknown, as well as hardship, returning to the center of the city.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Then
what are the people?
Francis will hold up the remote to Gallon and be like, I think it best if that's where it stays. Go ahead and break it. The remote. What?
Down there.
Gallon.
Galen,
Oh no, he's.
Galen, are you dying?
He might be.
Again?
Galavino with the traveling times.
You're muted.
Exist.
He's munching and crunching.
Well,
on
he's
some
muted.
tangles.
So we're just bloody walking through this town. Like, are there people staring at us?
Fuck yeah! You came across the town with the statue and symbol of their founder. They are definitely staring at you guys.
Person.
Olsen is just looking down.
Person.
She's listening. She's not gonna like lift her head from looking down.
Mr. Black and you killed my evil because we need to figure out why. You already made
Why?
Cedar's goal, getting the hearts of the hearts, making a mockery. What would her death cause?
Oh, see how hopeful these people look?
I doubt they will trust her after the assassination.
Francis,
That Francis told us about.
Francis will say, Akir, now is not the time for that conversation, and I have a plan.
You had to keep Francis off because we were tired.
Yep, all in due time. Steps need to be taken first.
Then what's this left for today?
Olsen will lean into Akir and just a quick. Even if it looked the way that it did, they were here to stop it. So, whatever they may have thought at the beginning, thoughts change. People who are covered in blood, and she'll gesture to all of us, can say something different and pin it on them. It's up to them.
Here, I've been attempting to put in good work, earn a name so that you can trust me. Trust us, the random people. Came to the town and go to Jabberwock.
Yep. And on the bench, and Francis saying this in a hush thing as we're still walking by. Just for sake of brevity, I gave the controller to
Alan, and it broke.
Gallon, and he broke it.
If Gallon's not here to do it, I can break it for you because Akira does not care.
Yep, but like again,
One way or another.
Yep, because I'm pretty sure as far as Francis knows, there's only one controller, and that statue might as well stay there. You know. But that being said, in hushed tones, as we're still walking through the town, like I said, I have a plan, and it includes Ivy. So, in all in due time.
Then. Or are we going back to the inn?
I'm back.
Oh, welcome back.
Hello.
Everybody's
Francis
back.
asked-
Here for much.
Huh?
We can't stay here for much longer. Is all I know. We have to get back to the town that we're originally from. There's other things that we need to do there, and
I agree, but there's still some things that need to be done here. Let's rest
Of
for the
course.
day, or let's take today, I think, and as soon as we're good and ready, we can head out. There's some things I'd like to see to first.
Here's hoping the inn is still intact.
Mm.
As you get
oh
to
my
the
god,
end,
is the inn still intact?
it is mostly intact.
Oh, good.
Did any of our rooms get destroyed?
Yeah, that's what I care about.
Will and Gallon's room got destroyed.
Hmm.
Well,
It was the same. It was the same boggles that were before.
It was defaced as well as, crushed in with a boulder.
Hmm.
So
Oh.
you're able to gather all
You
your
did-
things. It's just
did we get insurance on that room?
No,
no.
we weren't here when it
Oops.
happened. It's not our fault.
Nope. Free room.
You could go to the goblin bartender or the goblin innkeeper.
I tried to bleach it out. I couldn't do it.
Get anyone that does a room for them.
Yeah, that looked
Yeah,
kind of cool.
No, we get,
We're gonna
we
need
get,
another
we
room.
open up the door. Quill and Gallon's room is just, there's a boulder still sitting there, and just close the door.
Huh.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna need another room for
I
these.
can give you the one next to it.
All right.
Is there a boulder in it?
Is that what it
Yeah.
takes?
Ah,
Oh, fuck. All right. Can I have the key?
there you go.
Is it a
I'll go
closet?
check and see if it's fucking crushed.
There's like a little bowing on one side of the door, but side of the wall, but it's mostly fine.
It's
A
sheltered.
roof? There's a roof.
There's a roof. There's bowing on some of the wood on the left-hand wall.
I believe in it.
just like cartoon one frame.
Yep.
Hey, Francis, if I hold you up and you cast Mindy on
I got some things I gotta do before I actually decide to call it a night. So, if you'll excuse me.
Yes. Travel safe, Francis.
Yep. Enacting plans and doing what I do best. Francis says as he walks off towards City Hall.
How much of the day is left?
You have about 4 hours until midnight.
8 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
If you will excuse me, I must withdraw into my room.
Before Francis goes entirely, though, he'll look over to Holstead and everyone, and just as a kind of like just a heads up, would anyone particularly mind if Ivy had some part in us helping out?
No. I don't care.
I don't care.
All right, just in that case.
False glory comes with tricky territory. Whatever you do,
I'm false.
was it?
It's not false territory. She played a big part in the success of all that. The first shard I had that helped, protect the tree came from her, along as well as a lot of the information necessary came from stories she told me.
Based on what you say,
She-
be careful
I
about
also-
it.
She also gave me this really cool trinket that I put on my sword, and it hits a lot.
So
Worked
she
for
played a
me.
part.
You played a part, but not over embellish a part. Otherwise,
I don't intend to.
Honor that she needs.
I don't intend to, just want to
She was
impart that she had a part in everything.
Say she was integral in our success.
Francis gives you like a... That's the one.
Akira just releases like a little grunt and goes to his room.
Well, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a full truth, but it's not a lie.
Nope. And Francis will make his way to City Hall. And if anyone would like to follow him, they are welcome to.
Now Holson's gonna go talk to Quill.
No, Akira goes in. Akira goes in his room, slowly closes the door behind him, turns around and just collapses on the floor. This entire time,
We hear a giant thud.
this entire time he was holding himself up strong so other people would feel confident around him. But now that he's alone, he's like, "Oh fuck!" Just falls over.
Yeah, no, Francis is exhausted, he's tired, he's hurting, but he's raised kids, so...
Akira's
Galen is...
Akira's the only
Got
one to go down.
stabbed a lot.
Akira's the only one who didn't go down. He thought everyone was gonna die, and not to mention everything he's been doing above ground. He is tired,
Mm-hmm.
and he hasn't pushed himself like this before. But
You got
Go
those, got the shakes in the legs right before he fell.
Yep, everything to make sure everyone around him feels confident. And then he's out.
Holson will walk up to Quill and just in his new room, I guess.
Yeah.
And she's just going to give him a hug. It's a really tight hug. Thank you for not leaving, and thank you for staying and helping and making sure we got out of there alive. We could not have done it without you. So, even though I hired you to be a teacher of sorts, you've proved yourself much more than that. And when we get back to town, the town that Yep, thank you. When we get back to Ingford, I want you to go tell all your friends that you're, well, not just a bookish man anymore.
I think Galen's in the room too.
Yeah, you're sitting there and you're
Alright.
watching me actually be nice to this man.
I will pipe in. You're a hero now, Quill. You helped save these people.
So many people can say that.
Lightly pries your arms off him. I was here to help, but I'm gonna hock a pellet.
It's okay.
You'd go do
It's
that,
alright.
buddy. You deserved it.
Everybody does it at least once.
You just hear like disgusting hawking sounds from the restroom.
I remember that back in the beginning.
It's adventure, for sure.
Yeah.
You know,
It's not an easy
shout over
thing
it, like, it gets better, I promise. You won't do it as often. You get used to it.
Oh.
Oh, he's gonna be there for a while.
I'm gonna go order him a tea.
Yeah, you go do that.
Still holding
Don't
that
give him
shit
any
in
food.
for
He will not be able
hours.
to hold it.
He now has potent spellcasting after hawking that loot.
Really?
Yeah, he has potent spellcasting now. So he now is allowed to add his intelligence modifier.
Interesting. They're gonna hurt.
So it's 2d10 plus 4. But yeah, he's going to be there for a while.
Yep. Yeah, Holston will come back in the morning. She's not gonna stay the entire time. She'll go back to her room. Is my room intact?
Your room is intact, but like a little like clatter dusty.
I'll blow it away. I can't do anything about that. I didn't take those types of spells.
It sounds like a job for prestidigitation, but you know.
I don't got it. Oh well.
God.
I'll go find a broom.
Okay, you do so. All right. As everyone is making their way, anyway, and coping in various ways, Francis, you're making your way where?
I'm going to the city hall, or where I was, where Kier mentioned that the mayor is, in hopes that he'll be able to find Ivy there.
Mm-hmm. So, the mayor, you do find City Hall, and you're let in after a couple minutes of like debating.
Mm-hmm. Francis is a little annoyed. He basically saved a large majority of the town, and he has to fucking wait.
Yeah. I mean, you're not known. You just came here like a couple days ago, kiddo.
I jumped into a 1,000-foot ditch. Come on, guys.
Yeah, like I thought you were a turd.
You really, of all things you could have been saying for a short joke, you'd result to shit. Man, you guys aren't clever at all.
Yeah, covered in like soot and ash and dirt.
Uh-huh.
So, you're let in, and Regina does you. Mr. Stein.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, not due to a lack of trying, but you know, I made it out.
Somebody about to have a Creole fucking accent.
But yeah, no, it's just wanted to follow up and make sure, is everyone all right? Did you know anyone else get as unlucky as the guard?
Guards on the southwestern end near the Rotten Grove definitely have taken a blundering, as well as some of the people outside.
Oh. Sorry, the last thing I expected was the orchards to be dangerous. But everyone's okay, right?
There's been some casualties, some manner of creatures, as you see, like some of them, like some warriors are like dragging like sacks and things of like creatures, and they are all corrupted fey beings, as well as what looks like the remains of a form stealer Myconid, and a good portion of its body has been removed, and seeing a person underneath.
Yeah, no, Francis just kind of like, I only had so much time to investigate what I was looking for. I was able to make out the Jabberwock, but I couldn't have predicted what happened after. I'm sorry.
I don't think anyone could have. But your little heads up that you gave my daughter definitely aided.
And speaking of which, where is she? Is she alright?
She has been struck, but she's still alive.
Alright. Are there other members inside this room with her? Like other people?
There are other people, like seemingly to be heads of the actual city.
Alright. Then I will look to her then this is perfect. I'll look to her and say, then if above everything else though, I wanted to be here to give her my thanks. If it wasn't for her and everything, she helped us out. I mean, we're adventurers. We do the heavy lifting. We do the dirty work, so to speak. But if it wasn't for her helping us out the way she did, we wouldn't have been able to succeed the way we did. Keep everything as, well, for lack of a better term, clean as it ended.
Right. I'd like to formally thank you and your group, but at this time, there's much to be done.
No, I completely understand. I just wanted to stop by. He kind of gestures out. I left a gift for everyone in hopes that it'll help brighten spirits. Gestures over to where the fountain would be.
Yes.
And, well, I mean, what was it? The founder, she was your mother, correct?
No, she was my late husband's mother.
Ah. Well, your mother-in-law is with her sword once again. And it's made her stronger.
She gives you a slight bow. Thank you.
Yeah. If you need any of us for whatever reason, we'll be over at Insert In. And I hope everyone else has a good rest of your evening. Hopefully everything calms down sooner rather than later.
It's now just the hard part of cleanup and seeing how many. A good portion of people are more so injured than there are casualties. But even still.
Hey, look at me. I'll take injured over dead any day.
As would I.
And Francis will give a nod to every single one else in the room as he goes to leave. Effectively doing what he intended to do, which was give Ivy a good bit of the credit.
Alright. After a while, Quill exits the facilities. Gown.
Wait, what's up?
After a while, Quill exits the facilities.
How you feeling? And I will hand him the tea if he wants it.
He looks up a little bit and looks at the tea, looks at you, takes the tea. I'm better, but I'm nauseous.
Quill, I feel like we need to have a talk. And
can I ask a question?
Yes.
What are you?
That's what I'm about to tell you.
Quill begins to sit.
I want to preface what I'm saying with, I want you to know I would never hurt you or any of our friends. Do you know what a vampire is?
I've read stories of them, yes. But I've seen you in the day.
I know. I was attacked by one. I was turned. But not entirely. I'm not exactly a vampire. I am half vampire. It's a Dhampir. I don't know much about it. That's where that came from.
Is it a curse? Or is it a, disease? I know that people been bitten turn into things of the like, other vampires, and
yeah, I'm not exactly sure what it is. It's might be both. But what I do know is that I will be honest with you. It does make me hunger. It does make me hungry for blood. And I will pull out my potions. These stop that hunger. Well, it manages it much better.
I see. Like a supplement.
Yeah.
Or a sedative.
It's basically a replacement for blood.
Okay. What,
I'm gonna show you something, but don't be scared. And I'm just gonna sit here. I will Gal will close his eyes, and he gonna make his fangs protrude, and open his eyes.
I'm gonna roll a wisdom check for him. Wisdom. Oh, well, let's do save.
Come on,
24.
let's go.
Let's go. He is not like as how you would say perturbed by this. He stands still, probably because of the numbness of emotion that has come over him today.
Yeah.
But he stands firm, even though there is a slight shake in his hand.
Gallon will close his eyes again, retract his fangs. That's why I can. That's why I have a really good sense of smell. That's why I can walk on the walls.
I thought you may have had boots like Francis.
No.
So that's why I was thinking that. Okay, that's
There. That's just me.
What was that?
I also don't need to breathe. That's why when you were checking over me that one day. Just,
I thought you were dead.
yeah, you know. I kind of am.
What happens when you run out?
When I run out of these, and I hold up the potion,
Mm-hmm.
I will pay some. One method I did recently in Inkford was I paid someone very, very well to get their blood. I will not take blood from an innocent person. I wouldn't attack anybody.
Okay.
I would, Quill, I would genuinely sooner die than kill an innocent person.
All right. I believe you.
Thank you.
You haven't lied to me yet.
No. It's,
He begins to drink tea.
Do and also, do you remember Gwilly?
Mm-hmm.
He would.
Only slightly.
He would let me feed on him. so that way I wouldn't go hungry.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to be more. I'm gonna have to be more resourceful without him, but I will make do.
Oh, okay. Okay. I I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna fill that role.
I
I am
didn't
a.
expect you. I did not expect you to.
Oh, good. Guess I'd like to veto that.
I would honestly decline the offer.
Yeah, yes, yeah. As I am small.
Yeah. But
Okay.
I'm gonna have to ask you to not tell people.
I wouldn't.
No, it's just I would. My life would be at risk. The, I know that my kind, whatever it is it's dangerous. The people are scared, which means I would be a target. That's all.
Okay. I promise I won't tell anyone.
Thank you.
I'm very tired.
Yeah, you should get some sleep. And Quill, if you Quill, if you want me to, I can get a different room.
It's I think you're fine there. I'm gonna and just
Okay.
like goes into the restroom again.
Yep. I think that went well.
All right. Time passes. You all get some well-deserved rest. As morning
Oh,
comes,
boy.
Wilson, you feel a soft caress on your face as you wake and you see Sivnu.
Okay. She like jolts a little bit because she's not expecting that, but
Sorry.
good morning.
Good morning.
Were you
So-
for a talk? Yeah, okay. He sits up and she's like, all right.
Alrighty then.
Did you want to talk here or? And she like looks over to Bellos.
Let's take a walk.
Okay. Take a walk. I will softly shut the door though. I don't want to wake up Bellows. The music changes.
The music changes. As you are taken into streets and then led outside of the walls, where you see the large destruction of roots and vines, brambles, thorns, basically changed the entire landscape of the southeast.
Olsen will get down and like just touch the touch the earth. Does it look like this is what Sivnu did?
It's definitely reminiscent of the same colors.
You did a number here.
I may have overdone it, but frustrations are frustrations.
Things will grow back. They always do.
But first comes destruction. The uprooting of diseased trees.
Understood.
I am extremely glad that you survived.
I'm excited about it as well, you know. Can't go.
But I will
Expected to go
say,
home alive to your parents.
yes, but I will say that that creature was definitely out of your reach at this moment.
I figured. Um, I figured that it wasn't. I guess I just got involved.
And,
He's he
and, that,
he had something to do with my friend.
and that's fine to get involved. But you also must know when to stand firm and stay back. For only glory that you seek, or the recognition, as well as the learning, can only be done if you're alive.
Mm. And we'll get him. I'll keep an eye on him. And if you happen to hear anything reminiscent of him, do let me know.
I will.
So I
But
won't
you're
keep
not
that
strong
heart
enough.
back. Oh no, God no.
I don't know when you'll be. I can only outfit you with as much power as you can withhold. And teach you things.
I appreciate that.
But do you fully grasp it?
Some things. Some things take a little longer. Some things you can only learn by doing and getting your ass kicked into the ground.
That seed I gave you was one of 3 that I have left.
Okay? Is there
Which
a way to get
means
more?
it takes a long time for me to produce them.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, you were near a source of power and was able to disrupt whatever was preventing my sight.
Probably thank
I cannot do that again.
don't
Not for a
think I
while.
didn't think you could at all, so it was wild enough to see you in your form, but you have your Francis to thank for that. The little one.
Yes. I've heard about Francis from you, reading your journal. As well as I've heard from Breverin.
I heard he adopted his name. Not Francis, but
His
you know.
father's. That one is a good egg.
I know you don't like Galen.
I don't dislike Galen. It's just he's
But you
confused.
don't like him.
I never said that. But his nature confuses me.
You know, I think it confuses a lot of people, so it's not unheard of. He's a bit weird. I
Right.
don't quite understand him.
Well, he's there, not there. It's strange. Many things hang over that one.
Sure, we'll find out more. I'll let you know when I find out. Of course. It'll be in my journal somewhere.
The
God,
things
somebody finds this journal, it's going to be detrimental to so
wild.
many people.
I'm still here, technically. In this form, in physical form. I had to clean some things up, and decisions had to be made. Ingrid is dying. So is this grove. It's not dead, but dying slowly.
How much longer is left?
A year.
Okay.
If
Do you think
he
we could
got away
find him
with
in a year?
I don't know. I have it sent, but it confuses me. Because it's a mixture of your old friend and something nefarious. Something dark. Something powerful.
I'll try to do more research into my friend, Dino. See if I can't find anything that is similar to the man we saw today. But I don't know where to start on that yet, so...
I've stunned the process with another one of those seeds. I only have one left.
Okay. I would save it. Unless something dire is happening.
Indeed. But I wanted to leave you with a gift before I leave for a while. I must return back to the grove, but I want to make sure that you're properly outfitted with tools. Because the road you are choosing will not be an easy one. It will be very dangerous for you and your friends.
What tools are you thinking?
It'll be of that of a choice. Between three. Three things that I can imbue with you without overwhelming your body.
Hello?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't hear anything you said except for it's gonna be a hard journey, blah blah blah, these tools. And I was like, oh,
There are three
what are these
choices.
tools?
Yeah. There are three choices that I can outfit you with without overloading your body. You may have my mind, my scale, or my thorns, for you already have my claw.
Do your thorns do this? It should gesture to the the garden, the grove area that we're in.
No, this is something past your purview.
Oh yeah. I was just curious because like you can see like there's thorns right there, so I don't think it's literal, but
But you must choose between those three.
mind scale thorns. Mind.
All right. She comes over. And then touches your forehead. This may hurt. As thoughts and equations and feelings of power go forth into your head.
And my ears are bleeding.
As you get racked with a headache. All right. So, with this boon, you may pick any third level spell from any class and add it to your known spells.
Oh boy! Guess where I'm gonna be? The spell book. I'll be the third level.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What if I just take paladin spells? Steal from Galen.
Steal from Galen. I was not expecting you to choose mind.
What was scale? I'm so curious.
But hey, I am also choosing to steal spells from Galen when I get the magic whatever for bards.
No,
What?
Steal from the paladin.
Listen, Destruction Wave is a kick-ass spell.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Greater Steed?
No.
Chef's kiss.
Did you think?
Oh,
Did you think I was gonna take scale?
No thorns.
Oh, what is thorns?
Do you want to know what they all do?
I want to know what these are.
Do you want to know
Yeah.
what they all do before you choose?
Yes.
Okay. So obviously, third level spell from any spell list.
I mean, that's still really good.
Yeah. Thorns is that you'd get Pact of the Blast. Once per turn, you can cast Eldritch Blast. You may choose one of the following options to modify the spell. Precision Shot, you can increase the damage dice of your Eldritch Blast to a d12, but all beams created by the spell must be targeting the same creature. Burst Shot, you can reduce the damage dice of the Eldritch Blast to d6s to double the number of beams the spell creates. An Elemental Shot, you may change the type of damage done by your Eldritch Blast to a type of your choosing. That is Thorns.
Okay. What's scale?
Scale, you get Pact Armor. You gain proficiency in medium armor and can transform or attune a suit of armor you're proficient to with the same manner as you would your packed weapon. While attuned to this suit of armor in this way, you can summon it upon your body or dismiss it onto an extra-dimensional space. As an action, your packed armor disappears if it is more than 5 feet away from you for 1 minute. It also disappears if you use this feature again or if you dismiss it. No action required, or if you die.
The spell is just once per day?
It gets added to your spell.
Oh, it's just my
list.
known spells. Like, I can use as many times as I want. I don't
So
have
long-
very many third levels, though.
So long as you have slots.
Oh, I actually kind of do want the thorn. Mostly because I don't have a lot of spells yet. That would be very helpful.
Well, it's your choice.
So do I only get one of those things, or
Only
do
one.
I... Okay.
You have to choose right now.
Right now.
Right now. I mean, I could go move on to a cure if you're wanting to wait a minute to think about it.
Elemental is the same damage, you just get to choose any element of your choice.
It would be narrowed down a little bit. So it wouldn't be like you get to pick radiant or necrotic or things. It has to be like elemental. Like lightning,
Like fire,
thunder,
cold,
fire,
that.
cold. Yeah, that type of stuff. Poison.
That would be a lot more helpful. I wouldn't have to, run up to a man and get slammed several times to do cold damage. That would be nice. I'm gonna pick that.
You're gonna pick thorns?
Yeah, I'm gonna pick Thorns Elemental.
Yeah, so. Alright.
If you could send that to me, like the DM thing, so I could just copy and paste it into my thing, that would be great. If it's already typed up. If it's not typed up, that's fine.
I'm gonna send you a snip.
Yeah, that's fine. I can type it while you talk to Akir.
Mm-hmm. There is the snip.
Thank you. I'm very
Alright.
excited.
There you go.
I guess with
With
the
that,
rest of
you're instead of like being touched in the head, your arms are taken in by Sivnu as vines come out from from around her arms, grasping onto yours, and then embedding themselves with thorns wrapped around, piercing your skin and then leaving a tattoo
Oh, I'm tattooed now. Interesting.
on both your arms. That
They're
of,
just thorn tattoos?
yep, spiraling vines of thorns.
Interesting. With that, she'll bring Sivnu in for a hug, and just, I won't see you for a while, so stay safe. I'll stay safe, and I'll see you next time.
Yes, you also will not hear from me for a while.
I'll keep busy. If you need me to do something else, just let me know.
She slightly pinches your cheek. And then forcibly opens a portal. A gate made of vines and thorns as she walks in, as you see her disappear.
What time is it?
It's early morning.
Like, no shops are open?
Hell no.
Okay. Cool. She's gonna go stare inside the leatherworker shop anyway. That's what I'll be doing.
Stare into the leatherworker's shop.
I
Okay.
have a commission for him when he opens.
They're gonna come back and be like, elves.
But like, what the fuck do you want?
Fucking opens the blind, just sees a person. Oh!
Oh, always the elves, always. Sleep, you bastard.
There's like 4 other elves in line.
They're there before you.
Oh shit! I'm late.
Look at you. Alright, so you made it to the annual, wait, she scared the shit out of the leatherworker day.
I fucked up my leather. I see that. Just like half of his armor is gone.
I got hit by a giant rock tree man.
Mm-hmm. So
Here.
here
Yes, I did not die yet. Somehow.
somehow, some way,
I
some
think I
way.
lived just because I was interesting.
Definitely a strange commodity. So you wake up from your exhaustion and like your throttledness to hear the chiming of your sword.
And like lift myself off the floor, off the ground, like shakily. Zara! Zara! Look around for her.
Zara's no. Didn't summon her before you passed out.
Yeah, but sometimes she just sort of shows up.
Mm-hmm.
I'll extend my I'll extend my hand to cast well, yeah, I'm gonna ritual cast it because I don't want to use the spell slot this early. Zara.
Zara appears.
I'm gonna give her my sword. I'm gonna stand up and give her my sword. Hold this, please. And I go into the restroom to clean up because he immediately felt unconscious. He didn't get rid of any of the blood or anything. Because while presentation is good for cleaning up, just a cold handful of water in the face feels good.
Mm-hmm. Control water is equally as good.
Yeah. And
Or
he
shape water.
create destroy water. Water.
Water.
Just
Shit's
water.
everywhere.
Yeah. Not in the desert though. But here, it's everywhere. Um. After he cleans up, he takes off his armor to put it aside because it needs to be mended by Zara
Mm-hmm.
because she cleans my gear and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I walk out wearing just my Under Armour padding. The motion for Zara to answer from Soric.
The call opens, and as you see the spherical eye, as it looks in, it's changed back to shape to that of Soric. Humanoid form.
Akir kneels before him. Your Majesty, I was not expecting you to contact me.
I could not feel you for some time. I was worried that my investment was gone.
With me? Never. Though I do have a tale to tell you if you have time.
Proceed.
And I will tell him everything about what happened in this town. About the witches and fears coming true, about fighting Bastion, cleansing him, the underground grotto. Sivnu, the wood dragon. I tell him everything.
Another dragon appears.
Yes, made of wood, leaf, bone.
Another variation of a Fey dragon. Or something primordial. This is very interesting.
I must apologize, Your Majesty. I am nowhere closer to getting your stone.
The oracles tell me that you're still on the right path. So I shall trust in their advisement.
And I'll continue walking forward.
Indeed.
How is your daughter, Miska, the rest?
They are fine. Rashem is become better.
losing his arm has been hard for him.
Yes, but he got the new one. They are currently in Ingford, heading their way down to Ballora.
This group I travel with, they are looking for a station. If you desire, you may tell them to wait for us there.
They will continue on that trek.
If you
I
wish.
know that you may miss your friends, but the path is clear. The two shooting stars must coalesce at a certain point naturally.
As you say, Your Majesty. And Akira will stand. Will stand, giving him a polite nod. You see anything else I can do for you, Lord Stark?
Yes. Since you've lost your compatriots as well as means of comfort, I will present you with a gift. Something of
You honor
home.
me. You honor me, Your Majesty.
Yes. This gift is there to aid in your pursuits and also motivate you to get closer with these newfound comrades. His allies. Maybe also to get some more information about this wooden dragon.
As you wish. I must tell you that my blood boils to hunt this Mr. Black who escaped and tarnished my honor in that fight.
Yes.
After I get your stone, I request permission to hunt him down.
After the stone is delivered to me, I will aid you in your quest and give out necessary equipment for your hunt.
It is most excellent, Your Majesty. They will be happy to have a powerful ally against this foe.
Yes, indeed. So, take this. It is in Zara's hand apparates a small box of bluish and gold filigree.
I walk up to her and I reach out to gently take it,
Mhm.
and then I open
Should I hit you? As you open it, it is a beautiful ring encrusted with wind designs as well as lightning like jolts surrounding a blue tiger's eye, almost reminiscent of Sorik's gaze.
So, does the ring have any political significance? As in, like, do only certain members of his court get these, or?
So it's roll me a history check.
Oh, I'm not good at that. Okay. I'm gonna add my D8 to that.
I was about to say
Well, that's
12.
Should I re-roll? Because
Should you?
I didn't. It's just lore stuff. But it's important to me.
Okay, I'm not. It's up to you.
Yeah, I'll re-roll.
Okay,
All right. Well, it looks like it's 12.
so 12.
Even if I rolled
Do you
8,
want
it'll still
my
be a 12.
reroll?
I'll take it if you're offering.
I'll give it.
Hey.
That's better.
28. 20.
There we go.
Okay. You know for a fact that his
Thank you.
lower lieutenants do get this ring, and it does have some significance. It can be taken from someone forcefully if they are found disappointing. But this is definitely a great boon and also an honor from Sorik.
Akira will slip the ring onto his index finger. and take a couple steps back so he's back in view of Sora. It will be an amazing honor to see my Majesty. I will not disappoint.
Prove that you have earned them.
The Ashbringer serves you always.
Bring me the stone, and also honor through your victories. Prove to me that I was right.
And I will also seek to bring information on this new dragon.
Yes. There is also a dragon that appeared here, of 1 brown scale.
In Zorek.
Yes.
Brown scale. Not copper.
No. It is very interesting that multiple different types of dragons, of breeds that we have not seen, dare to rear their head. It is an omen of changing tides.
Did he have words with it, or did it just pass by?
It seemed to have run past our territory. My territory. But it is still out there.
But that'll be a problem for me when I return.
We shall see.
I will think about this changing things. If you may excuse me, Your Majesty, I have much to do today. In the aftermath of such a fight.
You may go. And the source of the vision ends.
Like here, we'll give him a blessing in Draconic with his hand on his chest as the image of faith. For walking forward, taking the sword and resheathing it, he looks at the ring on his hand.
It glitters and glows as the metal itself is that of gold, and with thin strips of either silver or platinum surrounding that blue tiger's eye.
I'm going to look to Zara. What did he tell you about this ring? Because assuming he sent her an instruction manual.
Yeah. As you put it on, you definitely see a note inside the box.
Open it. Take a note.
There is the instructions.
That's a low intelligence. Okay. The. It's gonna take a while.
As we make our way to Francis's dwelling.
And it's the one we talked about, yeah.
Yes, it is.
Just so you guys know, I have the first level Pact of the Genie Warlock ability. It is the one where I get a tiny mobile house.
Oh,
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, a bottle respite.
Nice.
Bottled respite as an action. I can vanish inside my vessel, and I can bring with me gear. I don't think I can bring in another person, but I can use it to store things without being weighed down. It's a 20-foot radius, 20-foot high cylinder, and it's very comfortable.
which you can only access once per day.
Yep, I can only go in there once per day, and well, if I'm hiding in it, like Linko's hiding in it, someone else can carry the ring around, and I can be a spy because I can hear stuff. Or you can just carry around a dragon in your pocket, whichever one you feel like. I can be in there for 6 hours.
Go Charmander.
Yeah, go Charmander! Look here!
Smashes the ring. Release.
Breaks the ring. Falls out into the concrete.
Oh, why? I can
It's
remake
glass.
it after an hour, but whatever.
Oh, that does bring up an excellent question. Like, if somebody, like, if he fell from a large distance and he was wearing the ring, would the ring break?
The ring, it's it can be destroyed or lost. It has an eight. Trying to find it. I think it has an AC equal to my spellcasting modifier. I'll find it.
Which is?
Okay, the vessel's AC is equal to my spell save DC, so it's 16 AC, and it has hit points equal to my total level, plus my proficiency bonus. So right now it has 9
That's not
HP,
bad.
9 HP, and 16 AC. I mean, people have to specifically target it.
Mm-hmm. People would have to know what it is.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they just ooh, trinket.
Oh, that said, I can.
They steal it from you.
That said, seeing as I can rebuild it after an hour, you can also try to hawk it off to some fucking merchant and be like, "Hey, some quick gold," and then just reform it because it's not real. But that said, we can use it as storage if need be. So if we have a bunch of stuff we want to sell or whatnot, we can put it in. We can put it in there without need of or worry about wearing down the cart or whatever.
And that's what 3 bags of holding do when that Francis holds on to.
Well, it doesn't have a limit to how much it can hold.
It's a 20 by 20 cylinder. Never mind.
It has space limit, but not weight limit.
Yeah.
So, I'm thinking in layers right now. So someone gets inside of a bag of holding, you see. Then they go inside.
Well, the thing is, the bag of holding. The bag of holding.
Yeah, but then I'm also. Yeah.
The bag of holding goes to an extra dimensional space. Mine just shrinks you down.
Yeah, but like that'd be really useful to sneak people in.
Yeah. Yes, it will be. It's up to Lycan whether or not I
just chill in there.
It's up to Lycan whether or not he will allow me to bring another person inside or not. As far as I know, it's just me.
From what I know, it's you can take other people in there.
While inside, you can hear. You can come in. You get remain in for 12 hours. You exit early. The bonus action. I appear now. Place. It just says you. If you'll let me bring other people in, I'll imagine it's only one other person.
It's whatever. People can go in.
Just fucking me and Gallon in there, and then suddenly Holson carrying the ring gets mugged. It's like, oh, you just fucked up.
You think Holson's gonna get mugged?
I mean, someone
she would have gotten rid of that ring. No, she would have gotten rid of that ring on purpose.
Hold on. Let's be honest here, guys. It's not Holson, it'd be Francis who's getting mugged because he opened his big mouth.
Well,
that or Quill. Just don't give it to those two people.
The ring is made out of gold, platinum, and silver. It costs no less than 1,000 gold. Someone might try to mug you for it.
100%.
Yeah, that's fair.
I dare somebody to mug me. I dare them.
God.
For 1,000 gold, someone will buy a gun just to shoot you once and take it.
I will take you down with this.
I will throw rocks at them.
And this gun that I found.
I will throw rocks at them, and it will hurt so bad.
You mean thorns?
They point a gun at
Francis. Rocks. I took stone shield.
Fucking Francis. Francis pulls out the gun from the mask that turns into like 50 other guns. That's a route I imagine you going down right now. Getting the mask guns.
Yep. Come on. Make my day.
So that's my boon. Who's next?
All right.
I'll be right back.
Yep. So Francis, your dwelling. What you doing?
What?
What you doing?
So when I wake up early in the morning, I realize that everyone's still relaxing and I'm sore as hell. It was a rough day yesterday and whatnot, stressful. But I have some chores I want to get done before we leave town. Not sure if we're leaving in the afternoon or in the evening, or if we're wanting to wait till the next day. But time is precious, and I have no idea what's planned, so Francis will get up and go. And he will go over to the square, look up at the statue, think for a moment. The port key teleported us out, right? It didn't. What?
Yeah.
So the only way in is locked behind a door that we need Holson's sword for.
Yep.
Olsen is at the leather shop staring in. Sure, you'll find her.
And that big hole that you made, because nobody's fucking patched that shit up.
Mm-hmm. But that's 1,000-foot drop.
You
Oh.
have Featherfall?
There's actually scratch that. The hole has been patched with large things of roots and wood.
But I can't just walk the wall all the way down.
There's one other place.
What was it?
His apartment.
Or the clock tower. But so what Francis will do, just to make sure so I'm not wasting time, is I will use the finder's compass or the seeker's compass and search for the watch, the item, the thing, the one that I know is on his person.
As it begins to spin, it points behind you. And as you turn around, there is a little gnome. Shorter than you.
Yeah, Francis looks back and looks down and just kind of like takes a step back. You know, a little warning would have been nice, otherwise I wouldn't have wasted the magic to try and find you.
Light of foot, and I didn't know how to, approach so far, but I was admiring the work. You did a good patch job.
Yeah, well, it was for those that know, it's a work of art, and it'd be a shame for it to be in the same condition as the other two pieces. And it sets a striking message for everything that happened last night. And I kind of feel like I owe you a small bit of an apology for yesterday. I wasn't, just like you right now, wasn't really sure how to approach the situation, to talk to you. Yeah.
Do you, want a drink?
Francis looks up to the clock tower.
And he's
How about
pointing
up
at
there?
the clock tower.
Huh?
He was pointing at the clock tower as well.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, sounds good.
As he hobbles his way forward,
Francis will follow.
He just knocks on it, and the door opens. Ah, there we go.
Francis just follows, stays silent for the most part unless he's asked a question.
And he hobbles up the ladder a little bit as you end up in the top area. As he climbs upon the work desk, opens up a little cupboard, and pulls out a bottle of brownish liquid. And two
Francis
cups.
will, Francis will smile as he takes a glass.
It's a bit old, but,
You know what, to be honest, I really don't care. Yesterday was the version of me that, when I first heard the name you were using, I held resentment. I didn't know who you were, what was going on. And here I am finding that there's a person using my father's name as an alias. Not gonna lie, I was a little miffed.
And I don't blame you.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, Francis pulls out the drawing again. and then looks up to the floor above where all the other paintings and drawings are. If I'm not mistaken, everyone you drew pictures of are people that made an impact in your life. Right?
Every picture is that of a good soul. One that felt to make a difference despite hardships and the need not to. Same was for Ingrid.
Yeah.
Her son, and your father.
You know, to know that there's somebody in this world that holds my father on an equal field as the founder of such a town. You know, that's the kind of thing that a man like him deserved, you know? And, you know, when I found my way up here and I saw the picture and he flips it over, and sure enough, there it is, the one thing I needed to see to remind myself of the kind of person my father would be and the kind of person he would want me to be. It it made everything that I was here to do more, I don't know. It mattered. Originally I came here to help Holston find you and fix whatever was going on here and to get back to Ingford as soon as I could. And then, you know, here I find that there's a person who, you know, was not impersonating, but had adopted my father's name. And first, when I was like, hey, there's a guy who's using my father's name, what the fuck? Pardon the language.
I've heard worse.
It wasn't until I saw the word remember that, you know, everything my father taught me before he died of a broken heart. The world needs more kind people. A little bit of kindness is enough to save the world, and, well, there needs to be more kind people. And then it kind of hit me that the only kind of person who would adopt my father's name is someone who was trying to do good, trying to spread kindness. Guessing I'm not too far off the mark in saying that's you.
That's up to your opinion on what kindness and good would be. My efforts also did damage to this place. Because I became driven, focused on...
No. You created a work of art to bring smiles to people's faces. That's no small thing. It's, if anything, putting in, what was it? Francis pulls out the blueprints, pulling off this mechanical marvel in 5 years. That's dedication. That's something worthy of an act of kindness that my father would be proud of. It's not your fault that someone saw potential and corrupted the machine. Behooves it to them to not be, thorough and take all three, thinking that one was enough.
One would have been enough. If it
Yeah,
wasn't
well,
for you and your kind.
yep. I'm fortunate to have the friends that I do. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna need their help here soon. Sooner than I'd like.
You
But,
do an old man a favor.
and that would be?
Hold on to those friends of yours. I'm sorry to say that though you were not unsuccessful, it's still, just looking at a lot of you, look like you almost bit it.
You know, I think I almost did. I'm pretty sure we all almost did. And to be honest, I was terrified. 100%. Not sure if anyone would have said so, the way I acted, the way I did things, the way I freefall jumped into a 1,000-foot pit with only an owl who had just taken a strength potion to fly me down while we're still being chased by the Jabberwock would be someone who was scared of what he was doing, but I was terrified the entire time.
Well, that's what
Maybe,
bravery is. And the
yeah,
necessity of being a hero.
I didn't care about being a hero. All I could hear about was what my father would have wanted me to do, and that's do everything I can to save who I could. And even staring that Mr. Black in the face, finding out that he was funny thing, he is actually one of the ones that I'm not gonna say killed my friend, but in a manner of speaking, he did. Long before we even found our way here. It was staring him dead in the face as I impeded the progress of his spell to a standstill, realizing that at the very least, if I died now, I'd be able to stand tall in front of my father. And not only that, there's just a bunch of. You and I just met, and I'm telling you all these things as Francis takes the drink and drinks it.
Mm-hmm.
And pretty sure it hits hard. Like, just the
Oh yeah,
taste of it.
it is. It is a little bit of a rough one, but it has a sweet aftertaste.
Ah! Here I was not expecting to just start talking to you like that. I'm sorry. What's your, do you want me to just? What can I call you?
What do you want to call me?
You know what? After everything I've seen, I think Robert's a good name.
Then I'll be Robert.
Yeah.
And your name, boy, is
Francis. Francis Eugene Stein.
a strong name.
I like to think so. Not the same as Robert Augustus Stein, but you know, it. If I can be half the man my father was, then I think I've done something right.
If it's just the two of us, if you don't mind, you can just call me August.
August then.
This may be my last winter here. Depending on
Francis
how things goes tomorrow.
Francis narrows his eyes. What do you mean?
Many people talk. I hear a lot of talk about an inquisition
On you?
on all fey creatures.
Oh.
My bad.
I mean, well, from what I've seen, the Fey creatures haven't done this place any favors as of recently, but again, it's more a matter of very recent events, being no doubt because of Mr. Black's influence, but I know people well. What was that?
As well as a speech that was impeded by creatures surrounded by fungal creatures. One of my creation.
Also, but it was the other two creations that stopped. Yeah, no, people talk and people are stupid.
A person is smart. A person can be reasoned with. A crowd is 1,000 voices that drown out the truth.
And that's going to be a tough thing to fight.
Yes.
So much so that it's actually worth not doing anything.
Being worth not doing anything and actually trying to make amends. That's the decision I have to make.
On the bright side, one of your pieces of work stands triumphantly in the center of town.
Yes.
If ever there's anything that could help you, that would be it.
I'm not worried about myself. I can take care of myself.
Yeah.
I worry about those that I leave behind. Because you said that I made those devices to make people smile. That's not exactly true. I made those to make one person smile. One person that still believes. And looks so much like her.
You're speaking of Ivy.
Yes.
Before the Jabberwock attacked, I asked her a question. She was feeling doubtful about her position, and I asked her if there was a possibility if she could stand side by side with her grandmother in defense of people, if she'd find the strength to lead. She was there watching as your mech defended the city. And she didn't run. Not like everyone else did. Whether or not she knew it was me controlling it or not, I think it may not have made her smile in the way you intended, but I have a feeling it would have made her stronger. Or as strong as she needs to be the leader this town needs. At least that's what I hope. Anyway, it was, nice talking to you. I mean, how often do I get to run into people who knew my father, or who he was? That being said, Francis will walk up, pull out the blueprints, both sets, the regular and then the advanced, roll them up real nice, hand them to August, and these belong to you.
And, this belongs to you. As he hands you a rolled up piece of paper.
Francis takes it in his hand and looks at it. And he unfurls it, and looks at it.
It has a multitude of possible modifications for ammunition, as well as a possible modification to lower misfire on the judge.
Francis is looking at it. How? Francis pulls out the plans for the judge.
I have a keen eye, son.
Francis stares at it. You have single-handedly identified every single flaw that was in the original design just by looking at it, not even for Francis
Time
just kind of
moves
goes wide-eyed.
faster for me than most.
Huh?
Time moves a little faster for me than most. I can manipulate my own perceptions. Study. That's how I was able to narrow down that 30-year project into 5.
Francis thinks a second.
It's not a foolproof thing. I haven't considered it, but it's a basic blueprint.
No, with this I can. With this I can. I can not only, utilize it. This is genius, as a matter for a fact. It's. I think I can work with this.
Yes.
Thank you, August.
You look like him, you know that.
Francis freezes for a second. He kind of Wait, I doubt it, to be honest.
It's not your features. It's more so how you hold yourself. Be proud. For I'm sure that he'd be proud too.
Francis takes a moment, kind of chokes up a little bit. You think so, then maybe.
I know so.
Francis rolls up the plans, his little boom, and puts it in his bag of holding, and takes out or holds onto the drawing in hand. And while holding back choked up tears, I'm gonna keep this picture if you don't mind. It's I don't have a lot of pictures of my family at this time.
I think I've seen enough to remember him. And I think I've done the effort.
Yeah. Yeah, you have. I'd say so. Francis will pat him on the shoulder. I hope everything works out and you don't have to leave. I'm sure this place is important to you.
It's important enough to leave alone.
Yeah. Now, before I ruin the tough facade that I have about everything that I am going to see what the rest of my friends are doing and seeing what the plan is. I'll see you. I'll see you when I see you. Yeah, August.
Yes, I'll be around.
Yeah. So will I. And Francis will make his way back down. After he gets about halfway through the stairs, he wipes away a tear, leaving a very noticeable brush stroke across the dirt on his face. As he pulls himself together and makes his way back to the inn.
All right. Gallon. You awaken.
Right. Yeah, I'm here.
You awaken into that room once again. Almost like a haze.
The library?
Sang sitting there with his bunny slippers and nice suit of burgundy with black undershirt. Just sitting there, drinking and reading.
I'll walk up to him. And I say that that thing you gave me really helped. My friends are alive.
Well, that's good.
Why is he playing fuck me music?
Mm. It's just
You
how
don't
it
need
is.
to know that right now.
We don't need to
He's
know
just-
why. Alright.
He's just vibing, chill.
He's
Yeah.
just fucking
Between him
vibing.
and Gallon. Him and Gallon.
Okay, fair enough. Whatever you're into, man.
It's fucking him in his own like little realm right now, and he just has like a passerby. This is the own place. He's wearing fucking bunny slippers, like pink bunny slippers. He don't give a fuck.
Yeah, he can play fuck me music if he wants. Who cares, right?
He just has a robe on, and all you see is just hairy ass legs.
Well, there's a hairy chest right there with like underneath
Yep.
the black shirt.
Oh, he has his reasons for joining this chat. But with Gallon's.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
So, did it feel good being a savior instead of a monster? Or do you still have those urges, my young fellow?
It definitely felt good to save them, but those urges are still there.
And they're very hard to keep down. I do apologize for that.
Not like it's your fault.
It's neither here nor there.
Squint.
So-
Okay.
What's the plan then? What is your goal? I know as much as I need to, but it's more so from action. I know of you. I don't know all of your history. I know of you when you were born. Again. That's when you came a blip on my radar. That is when you became connected to me. So, what do you seek? What are your desires?
Kench's head on a pike.
Ooh. Kench. Now that's a one. He closes his eyes. Ah, Kench. That'll be a mountain to climb.
I know.
Do you have enough endurance? Or even the will?
I hope so. I won't know till I'm there. But I won't stop.
It'll be very interesting to see you walk through hell and then come out of it. Hopefully. There'll be things that you'll need to gather to even have a chance at him.
Like what?
Allies.
Allies. I've I've been making those.
You've made one already.
Yeah.
A spectral seed. Nice choice.
I, didn't know that was gonna be what happened.
It is what you would call a gift of Requiem.
What is...
You're
What is
empty.
that?
You're hollow. There's many pieces out of place. Things that can be filled. Entities that can fill them.
So... Okay. That thing that I killed filled one of those pieces?
Yes. Add it to your repertoire.
It's been quite useful.
Yes, there's many other creatures amongst this world that could probably aid you. If you properly defeat them.
What do you mean by properly defeat?
You must exude your power plus mine, plus the one of your blood. And then it shall be captured. You must be the one to hit them last. You must have that glory. Be the one to break their essence into pieces and take what's left.
How will I know when it when it is a creature who can fill one of those pieces?
That's the thing. I can't teach you that. Your senses will have to deal with that. Your instincts, your gut. I'm not the god of hunts or quarries.
What exactly are you?
I'm Sang, and I'm in your corner for now.
Alright.
Tell you what. Each time that you find one of these essences, instead of relying on a raven to help you transfer them, you can bring them to me. I'll let you know what each of them do. And then you can decide from there. And then you get to ask me a question that I will speak truly for. Think of it as a bonus reward. It's
All right.
been quite a time since I've had one of you here to talk to.
What do you mean by one of me?
Mr. Morrow, you're a rare breed. You're like a gardener that prunes the hedges and makes sure that weeds don't get out of control. That is what the Dampier is there for. As well as other creatures of the like. Oh, and Mr. Morrow, you need to stop thinking of them as a curse or a disease. Because that is a label on perception. You're quite blessed, Mr. Morrow. I can't wait to see how your story unfolds. The door's over there. If you have need of me, you can call.
How do I call?
Sorry. I'm so sorry.
Find a basin of silver. Put a drop of blood into holy water.
All right.
It specifically has to be your blood, son. I won't have goat blood festering in there. It's just wrong.
All right.
And be sure it's under the moon.
Under the moon.
It's where all the children of the night look up. Till next time, Mr. Morrow.
Guess I'll see you. And guess I'll walk to the door.
You open it up. And you open up into the hallway. Fully clothed, getting ready. Like a walking dream.
Is Quill still sleeping?
Quill's behind you, still sleeping.
Okay. What time is it then?
It's about 9 in the morning.
Gown will go ahead and get breakfast ordered for everybody.
Alright, you order breakfast.
Here, if I can. After reading the instructions about how to use the ring and what its purpose is, would give it to Zara to put on. There it is,
Okay.
I'm going to try something. While I'm gone, serve the others as I would myself. Do whatever they say to the letter. You understand?
Does a slight nod.
Excellent. I can use my action to go into the ring while she puts it on.
Okay. You go into the ring. Inside there is lavish furnishings, as well as food.
Is there water?
There's water. There is a cascading slight fountain that you get fresh water from.
I'm gonna go over to some of the food, and I'm not gonna eat it full. I'm gonna eat a bite and see if it refills itself over time, or if I need to keep it refilled.
The food does not refill itself.
Okay, so I need to supply it.
The water does continue to flow through.
Water refills, food does not. Okay.
Yes, because it is a lot easier to get food than there is water in Wiswari.
Yep, and as far as I know, in Oswari, only a couple of sultans have a decanter.
Mm-hmm. Or a very, like Sorik, a nearly endless spring.
I'm gonna look around, and I imagine the furnishings are like that of my homeland.
Yep.
Um, instead of chairs, the thick rugs on the floor that to lie on,
Mm-hmm.
and
Lots of pillows, light blankets.
I'm going to look up and see if the ceiling is like the outside of the or like the inside of the sapphire.
Yeah, it is. It has like this bluish, glittering hued cloud
Can I see out
with
of it?
with the tiger's eye scratch, and you definitely can. It's a little bit distorted, because of the coloring, but you can see out of it.
Ooh. Okay, so Zara's gonna go find one of the party members to serve and follow around until told otherwise.
Okay.
Who's the first person she runs into?
The only person that's there,
Gallon?
Hi.
Gallon, as you see Ghost Lady just staring at you and then follows you.
Do I notice that she's just straight up following me?
100%.
Yeah, she's like 3 feet away from you at all time.
Gallon is looking for a cure.
No Akir.
Hi. Gallon waves.
No response.
Okay. Just gonna keep walking.
Follows 3 steps behind you.
And she's
I go to Akira's room, actually. No, Gallon's fucking weirded out.
You go to Akir's room.
Mm-hmm.
You open the door. There is no Akir. And she is just 3 steps behind you, staring.
Where's Akir? Right. You don't talk.
Continues to stare.
Sniff. Gallon is sniffing.
Roll perception. It will be
only.
True.
Smells like he's still technically in this room.
What the fuck? Gallon is now looking under the bed.
There's no matter where you look.
Where the fuck?
There's no Akir.
I would like to point out, though, you do see all the blood that was covered in yesterday, just like on the floor and then footsteps going to the bathroom and shit, because I never cleaned that up.
Yep.
That's for Zara to do.
Mm-hmm. Which Zara did.
Yeah. What the fuck? Gallon's gonna step out of the room and try to pick up his scent there.
Seems to be 3 steps behind you.
What the fuck? I sniff Zara now.
Zara smells like Akir. But also not.
Gallon is just standing there contemplating what all of this means. He's
She's
so
just looking-
fucking
And
confused.
she's just looking at you unblinkingly. Waiting
Standing
for
there.
an order.
Menacingly.
And imagine she's standing with like her hands folded in front of her, the ring pointing outward so I can see.
Mm-hmm. You're just staring at his junk right now.
Nice. I'm gonna continue eating like the food.
You just see Gallon's like arms hit the side. He's like, "What the fuck?"
How do I get out of this?
Lo and
Piece of
behold, he
paper
left
out.
the I was about to say you left the instruction box in the room.
Well, he definitely has a box on him because that box is probably worth that just as much as a ring.
It's about worth 50 gold.
Oh, that's still 50 gold. People have killed for less.
True.
It's a cloth box. You know, it's velvet.
Yeah, I gotta read
Read
the
it.
instructions. It's like how to will yourself out of the ring. Use bonus action.
So,
What the fuck is a bonus action?
what is this? So yeah, what you do?
Now that I know that the ring works in a way where I can see out of it, and Zara's does not disappear when she leaves 60 feet out from where I disappeared, so she can literally carry me around, I will leave the ring. Bonus
Okay.
action, turn into a cloud of lightning mist.
Yeah, and I need a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, I'm gonna be completely honest. You know what I was hovering over?
What? Yep.
One of those. But
Okay. Does a 16 hit you or AC?
It actually doesn't.
He just starts swinging at the sky.
As it begins to punch.
fuck.
Here was like magically like a clap of thunder or like a little bit of lightning. It just appears.
Nice to see you too.
What?
I turn to Zara and I take the ring back.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I could smell you. Alright. That was... Were you just inside that?
It's a gift from my majesty. Lord Sordak himself has seen fit to give me a promotion among the things.
Congrats. And Galen put his hand out for a handshake.
The Akira will shake it. Yes, the ring is a house of its own. Endless water, able to store food supplies.
Wow.
Too.
How many people can it hold?
According to the paper, you can hold
Up to.
it can hold 20 by 20. Now my mouse is right. That's around 4,000 cubic square feet of stuff. So about 6.
You're welcome.
Did you just math? No.
Okay.
Don't ask how you got 6 out of 4,000 square feet, but
I was like, huh. Alan's not questioning the numbers.
It's gonna suck when you have 7 people. Oh wait.
6 people? That's
Six.
pretty
One.
We'll
cool.
go in there. Well, we send Zara to do everything. Is that right, Zara?
That was... She just followed me around. It
That's
was...
what she does.
It was
Right.
odd.
Bramble's just like standing there in the end of the hallway, like the end of the one of the twins in The Shining.
Hey, Bram.
Runs up and just jumps on you.
Hug.
Hug.
That is a twig. A walking twig.
That is Bramble. As Galen will quickly step into his room and put the concealer on.
Okay. What do you try to make her be?
We're just gonna go with Kobold.
Okay. As he takes a little bit of time, comes back out with a kobold.
And now it is Kobold.
Yes.
You know what? Still has more personality than Zara.
Bramble has... Bramble thinks. She's intelligent.
Because just so you know, Zara is servant. She follows and she does as she is told to the letter. She has no emotions or personality. So if she follows you around, she is just waiting to be told to do something.
Huh. Sounds nice.
Unblinking, staring.
But it's still a little unsettling.
It's nice unless you want someone to talk to.
Well, that's what we're here for.
Yes, you
Hand on shoulder.
Looks at Bramble, no mouth.
Yeah. Except her, maybe.
You forgot the mouse.
Oh, shit.
Draw it
You
off.
just hear a creaking sound as like you see chompers, broken wood as teeth.
And I'll also give her a little bit of mood paint. Just a little tiny bit.
A little tiny bit. And
Do you
and
know
the
what
lag.
was
Hmm.
that? With the
Gwilly. Gwilly did all this stuff. It's
Yeah,
Go for it. Could help.
all right. So according to Xanathar's guide, disguise kit is a deception check. Can I use that?
Sure.
Yeah. 18 to draw her appropriately.
Okay. Looks good.
There you go.
That's much better.
Don't forget that the scales have texture too. Each one hides shadows and light on its own.
I pull out a little mirror for her to look at.
Just like do the side to side.
Where's our other companions?
I believe they're still asleep.
As Francis and Holson convene at the front of the gate or front door.
I'm gonna also wake up Quill.
Wake up, Quill.
Kira's gonna go to Holson's Abella store and knock politely. So
Yeah.
do him and Quill first.
Yeah. So Quill wakes up. I'm awake. And
Don't want to get robbed by Boggles again.
Please no. I'm just gonna roll.
I told him I wouldn't leave him alone
We'll help it.
with a Boggle type deal happening.
I will never leave you alone. In fact, I'll be so close you can feel my teeth in your neck.
Damn, dude.
The fuck, bro? It ain't that serious.
I love myself some poultry. And then fucking
Wow.
leaves. Lycan's like, no, gone. There he is.
No! God, please, no! No! No!
Quill just noped out of the campaign.
Will is safe. In a different campaign.
Not on my campaign.
For now.
It's going down.
No. And we're just gonna do this. As he begins to swing.
No! Hey! Calm down.
As you see, like a slight, like, feathers, like, fall off him.
No Boggles are around.
Not funny.
Didn't think it would bring that sort of reaction, but sorry.
I'm a small man. It's been a long week.
You know what? That's fair. I went ahead and ordered breakfast.
Okay, I'll be right down.
All right.
We got preen. As he goes to go preen.
Whenever you bunk with him again, just be good night. Don't let the boggles bite.
They bit so hard.
Good night. I might be a boggle. You not even know it. Bye. Good night.
But not with teeth, with gums.
Yeah. Some of them had teeth and no gums. Some of them had gums and no teeth. It was horrible.
Scrubs. Saliva everywhere. It's about this time that Holson and Francis like coalesce at the front door.
Of the tavern, or just?
The tavern.
I probably would have bought something at the leather shop.
Oh, that's right. Leather
but
shop.
I'll
Holson,
discuss that. We
Yes,
don't have to go to the leather shop.
what do you want from
I
the
just
leather
want
shop?
to see. I just want to see if he has like holsters,
100%.
like little.
He has
Like,
the
for
ability
guns?
to have,
No,
for
Because
books.
that's the type of extra I imagine. Holson
not
would
for
be.
my books. I'm not doing books. I'm
You're not doing the books?
not doing books. I'm gonna have so many tiny little holsters all
Okay.
over my body.
Ooh, are you doing
What
Disney Rock
are they sized for?
No, I'm doing little wands for every single spell that I have. Because Holston has a reason.
Every spell can be individual wand.
She has
That's hilarious.
as of right now, she has 2 first level wand slots. So it casts any first level spell. That's what she's looking for.
In an hour, it can be done.
I need 2, and I need it to be able to be added to, and then have another belt, and then another belt. Like, I need to have him on retainer. I'm probably not going to have him on retainer, but I just need 1 with black leather.
Black leather. Okay. Within an hour, this craftsman can do it.
If you just get the materials, Francis could have done it for you.
Nope. I wanna stimulate the economy.
You don't want Francis getting her measurements.
So it will cost
They always have a weird how much wrong you might make.
30 gold pieces.
30 gold pieces?
Yes.
Do I have it?
You should.
I do. Yeah, I'll give him 30 gold pieces.
Okay, 30 gold pieces, and he has it done in an hour, where you can adjust the length, size, and also potentially have more added on later on.
Okay. I'll have my cantrip wand. I'll have 3 little slots, but I'll have my cantrip wand slot, I'll have my my first level slot, and then I'll have a second level slot for when I get second levels.
Did you just here's an honest question. Did you just take the excess thorns you found in that field and broke them off and then just begin to carve?
Yeah, no, I was there for a second. I was like, let me just take
pieces of my
I'm gonna take some
carnage.
gonna take some patron things, and then she hasn't carved her wands yet, but she will.
Okay.
She'll sit there and
for you.
Yeah, that's what she's gonna have Francis do. She wants, but she wants she's gonna inscribe the spells in the level of the spell, and then no, it has to be me. I have to inscribe my spells. That is my one wizard thing. I'm just doing weird flavor for my books.
You have a fucking Rolodex on a wand. Hold on, it's spelled right here, right somewhere.
You want to take some extra thorns for future ones?
No, she'll grab extra thorns, and but she's only gonna need 1 for up to 8 levels. So she's gonna do she'll grab enough for 10 wands, just in case.
So
if she needs more than that, I'll talk to my patron.
Right.
But that way, it's still kind of infused with my patron, and it's still kind of infused with magic. So.
All right. So, you do so. You meet up with Francis at the front door.
Meet up with Francis. So I have all these pieces of wood. Can you carve 2 wands out of this? Pulls out the birch focus. Yay big.
Yeah, that shouldn't be a problem.
You just see large fucking huge thorns.
Right now?
No, not right now, but on the way back, of course.
Yeah, no, not a problem. I can do that easy.
But I need just 2 for right now.
Do you want them looking the same? Do you want specific? I don't know.
Same is fine. I'll know which one is which.
Alright, just while I'm carving it, I'll ask what you kind of want as for a design.
It's regular, but I don't want anything too fancy,
Francis looks.
I could carve intricately.
Narrows his eyes and looks you he looks you straight in the eye. Normal?
Yes. I have to carve intricate arcane runes into each single one of them, so normal is fine.
It just the entire time I've known you, Holston, you've never had anything on your person that was normal.
Do you think this is normal? No, it's not.
Exactly. That's
It's
why
not.
I'm questioning why you're asking for normal wands.
Well, normally people go through books, but I don't really want books. So, I'm going to try it this way.
Out of all the things you ask for that you could have me custom design for you to your specific aesthetic, and you want just a normal plain wand. All
I'm
right,
being it. It's just full of,
plain normal
regular
wand.
spells. Just for regular spells and cantrips. Doesn't need to be
No,
too
I
fancy.
completely just. Hey, I'm not going to complain. Less work for me.
Just make them as. She'll give you like rough measurements of like this big and it's wide. It needs to fit in a leather strap.
I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right.
If you can make the handle darker, then the
You just said plain and normal.
stem. Yeah, that's my only request. Just handle darker.
That depends on if the material you're giving me can take stain.
Or burn.
Wood. Set it on fire.
We'll see what I
Probably,
can do.
heavily damaged wood. So, good luck.
Francis just kind of like chuckles as he goes inside.
All right.
I'm coming back for breakfast. I've been out all night.
As the group comes into the door,
Staring into the
and
leather
then the
store.
group comes in from the top, you see a familiar face sitting at breakfast eating pancakes.
Oh, it's Callum.
Lie.
Hey, Callum, bring up a seat here if you want.
Okay.
How long have you been there? Down there, relatively.
As long as it took to order pancakes.
No, I mean down there.
Oh, I was there all night.
Our night or your night? This time slow
Yes.
down. Good to see you, Berlos. How are you healing up?
Looks over, one swollen ass eye. Alright,
Let me take care of that.
it's alright. It's just a flesh wound. Doesn't hurt more than my pride wound. And then, like, it sits down.
If she sits down next to Francis, Francis will pat her on the wrist, giving her cure wounds, level 1.
It just, like, reduces the swelling, goes, like, grapefruit to, like, a little swollen. Thanks.
There you go. At least now you can see out of it.
Holson will have her tattoos currently covered. She doesn't want to let people know that she has tattoos yet. But they're currently covered.
The care on the other hand, hey everyone, check out my ring. It's also a house.
Oh yeah, this ring is sick.
This, as you coalesce and talk about your new boons and things like that.
Francis doesn't say anything about his. That's a secret for when it
Nope.
happened.
Holson keeps hers to herself for the time being.
Here's new boon and what happened.
Yes, I should also let you know that I practiced a new spell in my sleep. It was interesting. I now know 2 new spells. Sending, so we can communicate with anyone, and Enhance Ability, where I can make you doubly good at whatever it is you try to do.
Bending is nice.
You just slept and you figured it out?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
weird. It feels like I powered up in a way. Like a number went up from 5 to 6.
Don't know how
It
it
from
works
5
for
to
you.
6 and you learn 2 new spells. Just like that.
Yep.
You know, when you have a patron, it works pretty easily.
Hey, Lycan, do I know that I have all my new spells?
You have inklings that you have abilities that you can exude over your blade, as well as, blood.
Yeah.
You have a
Blood.
instinct now.
Yeah, I'm a bard, so I study. It just in my unconscious state it clicked. Wait, so that's how those work.
Fucking epiphany. 2 new spells. Get
Yeah,
wrecked.
Yeah, for
Congratulations.
Francis, it's been more a matter of utilizing known knowledge into different ways. I.e., now I have a kinetic shot, and I took the spell Kinetic Jaunt, which I'm really excited about.
I got rid of Shatter though, so like Holson, you have AoEs.
I still got it.
Francis still has it too.
Cool.
I'll never use it.
I figured we don't need more damage right now, so I went more for utility.
Mm-hmm.
I also learned a hell of a lot of spells, but I'm not going to use any of my wizard spells until Francis can get my little wands done.
What did Bellows learn?
As soon as we start traveling, I'll get it done.
Gotta roll for
What-
Bellus's health.
Oh, you didn't live her
I
life?
mean, I already have it. Yeah, no, I already... Ooh,
Is that better than when you did,
good
Holson?
roll. I don't know, I can't remember.
You roll it for Bellus.
To be frank, I cannot remember. I don't usually roll Bellas.
Bellus got secret stuff.
Yeah.
Can't wait to figure out what that is.
Man, we are not an effective unit and we don't know what each other can do. Hey, Gallon, what's new with you? Do you get anything special?
You'll find out real fast what I can do.
Or is Akir literally the only one that has, like, anything worth sharing?
I mean,
14.
I have something that's worth sharing, but none of you would understand it in the current form that it's in.
alright,
True.
so, well,
He's at 72 HP.
Barbarians!
I feel like I do have something more. I
Oh.
don't know. I feel like it'll come up when it does.
Weird.
You mean like a fart?
Me and
Maybe?
Bellows both fucking laugh at that shit.
Huh?
Me and Bellows laugh at that shit.
Oh, just says, maybe?
Sorry, Francis grows up with children.
Oh, you
Do I
should
have
know
any?
that-
Do I notice anything different with? Do I notice anything different with Gallon? I don't know.
Roll me a investigation. Or
Yeah.
insight.
Francis is purposely not paying attention to Gallon as much
No.
as he can.
Same
Wait,
as
you're
Gallon.
what?
Yeah, Francis is like just. He's,
Actually, I'm gonna re-roll because I'm nosy.
you know what? You know what I'm gonna do?
Wow.
Alright, you do your thing first, but I want to focus Gallon for a little bit.
I also want to hear what Francis said.
Yeah, he looks a little more rosy, but that's it.
yep. No, Francis has made kind of a point. He's got his face. He's not like his face in the food, but he's focusing on the food that he's eating. So everyone's kind of like trying to take a look at Gallon. Francis is not.
Meanwhile, Holson, since he does look a little bit more rosy, she's just gonna reach out and just like put the back of her hand to his cheek. Is he warmer?
I didn't know you were the touchy-feely type.
He's not paying attention to whatever he's saying. She's like very focused on this one aspect.
Similar circumstance when we first met, I actually ended up hugging her.
Oh. Well, apparently
We're very
she's in the
close.
mood. Apparently she feels like doing that again.
Yeah.
Apparently, what you doing?
You're warm. It's weird.
I'm warm?
Most creatures are warm.
Gallon now tries to feel himself to know it.
You're slightly warmer than you were before.
Gallon
He's slowly
looks
becoming a real boy.
Gallon looks fucking confused.
Olson is very intently staring at you like,
Why am I?
"Thing?"
You can almost see the gears start turning on Galen's head.
Yeah,
Galen's
you're
head.
knocks some of that
feverish.
rust off.
You should get that checked out. Soon.
No, I think I know why.
Because you know why you're feverish.
I don't think it's a fever.
The whole set is just staring at him like
this conversation.
if you roll an insight, you know what? Galen would know. You've not told everybody about your little thing.
Yeah, I know.
Try to be very discreet about it.
No, and Galen's also just like,
You know, I
Yeah,
read about
Galen
this
was
once. I read about this once. Humans get something called morning sickness.
I can.
No, he would not.
No.
No, he would not. That's a very big question.
That's not how that works, Akir.
So you're sure?
It is for
Yes.
pregnancy, Akir.
Oh,
Are you pregnant?
Am I what?
congratulations.
Oh,
Callum.
I can tell you, I really hope I'm not.
That's not how it works.
I need to.
Unless Quill, you have something to admit.
What does that mean?
told him.
It means that you're a power
Francis is
bottom.
annoyed.
What?
It means that you're a power bottom, Galen.
He's a power. Why can't it be 12? Anyway, well,
Anyway, Galen,
how are
I
you
want to test
feeling?
Galen, I wish to test something with you when you're ready.
Sure.
Excellent. Meet me outside.
Okay.
So this conversation that we were previously having, this is very suspicious.
This is strange.
Well, you can also.
Also, I would like to, I need to have a talk with all of you in a bit.
Can I finish my pancakes?
Yes, you can. Actually, Callum, I'm gonna have to ask you to not be a part of this conversation.
So yeah,
For this specific one, it's a group matter. Sorry.
Oh, I thought I was part of the group.
Are you
What did you
joining?
say?
No,
Okay.
you told me not to.
No, no, I meant that.
Look what you've done,
You
Galen.
did. Callum, it's short.
Maybe.
Just eating a pancake.
Really?
Callum's
Really hard to tell.
emotionless.
It's nothing personal. I promise. But all right. All right. If
You're
you're
not pregnant.
wait, what?
I'm glad you're not pregnant.
I'm good enough forgotten that either.
Go talk to a
right,
kid.
we're-
Clearly needs you.
Yeah.
Okay. I bring Galen outside.
I would like
And,
to ask Quill one question before
Okay.
they start their conversation.
Okay, what's the
I
question?
just want to know how he's feeling.
Uh,
I just want to know how he's feeling.
roll me an insight or investigation.
Well,
And I'm gonna roll his charisma.
Hold on. I'll do an
I don't
investigation.
feel like he's.
Okay. So to roll in your charisma.
He's not the most charismatic, so I'm hoping for a lot here. Yep.
With that insight, he is wrapping a lot of things together. And with that investigation of 22, you definitely notice that he is molting. He has stress.
Francis takes his side plate of toast and slides it over to him. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Oh, a week. Again,
What?
Will a week again with his raise?
I can barely hear you. Like,
I heard something about
do
a
you-
raise.
Yeah.
Oh. How much is Quill a week with his raise?
Oh no, see the problem is you're getting closer to the mic, which is muffling it.
So how much is Quill a week with his raise?
Yes.
Okay, so you're paying Quill. It was. Let's see. You should have wrote it down.
I'm sure I did. I just.
I think I have it too. Going through the notes. Going through minutes. So many fucking notes. Okay. So he was 10 gold a week.
Oh, found it. And that's with his raise?
That was his base.
With his raise. Yeah, I don't have his raise amount. I just know that we were going to talk about
Just
it.
gave him like 50 gold and was like, here.
Enjoy.
Enjoy.
So for this week, I will raise him. I'll give him his money now. But, in a little pouch, I'll do like 20 gold just for this week.
Okay.
So I'll give him a 10 gold raise for this week, specifically. Just because he's gone through a lot. I don't have a lot of gold right now.
Yep.
I do, but I don't. I still need to afford him for a while.
Thanks.
Towards, I have to buy a lot of paper, you know,
Right.
or magic stuff, so that I can inscribe some wands that
If we
Francis
go
is building
to-
for me.
Yeah, if we go to Inkford, I can get a discount on paper.
Okay, cool. Well, I want to use like these magical pins. I've heard some things about them.
Okay. And outside,
Yes.
Okay.
He's been paid 20 gold.
Alright, what am I doing?
I feel we would be able to work together better if we knew exactly what everyone can do. The other two are very secretive about their abilities. You are not. So I feel like you are the best option for us to work fluidly.
You're just gonna have a freaking spar in the middle of the road?
That said,
Okay.
that said, you seem to like to be strong, yes?
Yeah.
What if I can make you stronger?
How?
With one of my spells, the invincibility one.
I mean, I would not say no.
Excellent. Experimentation is how we'll master these things, and it's how I will know exactly what it does. So, let me cast it for you.
Alright.
And I cast Enhance Ability on you for strength. Full strength. You have advantage on strength checks, and your carrying capacity doubles.
Oh! Oh my god! It does that?
Yep. For
It
next
fucking
hour,
does
for next
that.
hour, times 2 to all carrying capacities and advantage on strength checks and saves.
Oh my god! It does that! I can... Bro,
You can walk up to a horse and bench it.
actually though! Bro, it... Oh my god!
Where's
when
the nearest horse?
I could
That's,
lit-
that's exactly what Gallon's like. He's sitting like, oh my god, like his muscles just start to swell with his spell, and he's just like freaking out in the middle of the street.
You, sir, let me pick up your horse!
you look like a Vegeta, like after. he like eats birds.
Minus the yelling.
I
might be getting the yelling.
I summon my horse.
You summon the horse, and the horse also has extra muscles.
Oh my god! What the fuck?
This is a very buff
Just in the legs.
He's so buff. I want to pick him up.
Okay. You pick up the horse.
Oh my god.
How much does the horse weigh normally? Because I know this is like a
At
spectral
least
horse.
a
so I don't know
ton.
if it's so,
At least a ton.
This is a spectral horse. I don't know if it has the same restriction.
It's actually a real horse.
It's actually a real horse, my guy.
Oh, so it does weigh like a ton.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's a full ass horse. It's
It's,
not.
In gallons carrying capacity right now is 2,160.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's
The whole
about
ton.
1,200 pounds.
Yeah, no, you're just picking up this horse. People who watch you pick up
I-
this goddamn horse.
And Galen just says, "This spell is awesome," and just puts it down.
Just casually doing squats with a horse on his back.
Random
actually,
town
yes.
people are just like, who the fuck are these people?
Exactly what he
Why are
tries
they
to
still
do.
in our town?
We are just right outside the window. You guys can look over and see Galen just have a horse.
Fighting with a horse.
Holton's back is to the window, so she can't see it unless Francis is gonna be like, what the fuck is going on outside?
Francis is not interested.
Or
Yeah, I
Bellows.
also was envisioning Francis being like facing away from the place. The only person like watching right now is Callum, because there's be like Francis, Bellows, Holson away from the window, and just Callum just eating one pancake at a time, just staring. Huh.
Wait, what about Quill? Oh,
Phil
he's
is
thinking.
gazing upon his oatmeal.
Poor man.
All right.
Now what you should do is go to the person with the largest horse and bet them that you can lift it. And see
Make
how
some
much
money.
you make.
Do it. Make some money, pay Quill.
You know what? Fuck it.
You're gonna find someone with a horse.
Let's go find a noble.
All right, we're on the hunt.
Yes.
Lycan.
Okay. Where do you attempt to find a noble?
Just anywhere. Just literally just someone that looks wealthy riding a horse. Or that has a horse.
We can always go to City
I'll
Hall.
lift you with the horse on it. Or I'll lift the horse with you on it.
A survival.
Survival.
I'm not proficient, so I can't help you, but I'll also roll survival.
It's okay.
Oh, okay.
It is good. You find one person riding up to City Hall with a horse and carriage.
Okay.
Before
That's what lift
I
a
would
carry.
say this, I would say this above all, guys, before you make a fool of us. This is a town that just got mauled last night.
But
That
he
is.
can lift- He can lift both the horse and a carriage at the same time.
Really massive.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Save it for Ingford. I will make
No,
a
no,
tent
no,
for
no.
you. We can circus
no.
this shit.
No. He's not there. You could do it
I
if you
know,
want to.
but as a player, I really want to. But as Galen, I don't. He's about to walk up to it, and then he just looks around, hits him. The destruction.
That kid's like, you won't do it, no balls.
No, these people have just been through a tragedy.
Do you want to know why I'm pushing to do this?
Why?
Entertainment. These people did go through a tragedy. They need to see feats of miraclism to know that people are going to be aiding them. A feat of
We're
miraclism.
leaving in the next couple hours.
I'm not really one to please crowds. I'm not really one to please crowds. I don't even know how to go about starting.
Just start lifting heavy shit. See that big ass rock
Just-
over there? Put it back where it belongs.
You know what? Fuck it. Let's clean up some of these boulders.
All right.
There you go.
And I'll start moving these big-ass boulders.
Okay. I need athletics checks for the sheer
I'm not-
fact that it's awkward for your grip.
I'm not helping. It's just him, and he doesn't have advantage. And I can, I'll inspire you. Just
As you take a boulder, like
roll
crunch
the D8.
into the sides.
Oh, wait. Hold on, Lagan.
I'm inspiring him.
24.
As your fingers crush into the sides slightly, you feel your heart as like your body begins to feel that like slight cold as like your nails a little bit extend into the actual boulder itself, like hooks, as you lift the bitch up.
Okay.
Entire foot. Now, where are you going to move it?
Oh, out of the way. Somewhere that isn't gonna, like, obstruct everywhere. Obstruct anything.
Roll
Yeah,
me
debris
a wisdom check. Either survival or
I'll inspire
perception.
you again. I'll inspire you again just because why not? We get short
I
rests.
will roll perception.
He's just there next to you. Do it! Just do it!
13.
13. You find a spot that doesn't look like it'll actually crush anyone and actually make a little bit of ways. And you move over there with cracks underfoot as you move the boulder down. And like there's a small bit of people just looking at you.
He's
There's a
just,
kid right behind him boosting him. Do it! Don't
As
let
some of the
your doing
adrenaline goes away, so does the lengthening of your claws
okay. That's really cool, though.
and the paleness
That's neat.
gets replaced with that slight rosy texture.
It's really cool. I'll keep moving other boulders.
Yes, look at them marveling. You are a hero to them. And seeing that your strength continues to give will show them that no travesty can keep us down.
Okay. Roll me one other athletics check, and then we'll move on from that.
Alright, and as I'm walking by Akira, I'll hold out for, like, fist bump.
Yeah, fist bump.
Alright, and, wait, what? Oh, athletics, right.
At advantage.
Yes, sir.
21.
Yes, sir.
You're able to move quite a few boulders out of the way. People that actually give you a little direction eventually as you move boulders for the next hour.
Cool.
How do you feel? I say when we're done.
Oh, I feel like my muscles are gonna be a bit sore, but that was incredible.
Yes, I can do that for everything you wish to do. Be more charismatic. I can do that. You want to be smarter. I can do that.
Really?
Yes. If you feel like your arm is weighing you down, I can make it almost weightless by increasing your footwork.
I really like the strength one.
Oh yes, it's a go-to. Shall we go back to the tavern?
Yeah, I
While they're
think
gone doing their
enough.
thing, Francis looks to Holson. So how long are we planning to stay here, actually?
Well, I don't know. I completed my mission. There's no need for me here. I checked up on the friend and I made sure, the grove was not completely fucked. I will say, I don't know where Akira and Galen have gone, but I was going to say this table, we've got a year. there's a timeline on that heart. And we don't have to do it today. Or tomorrow. But going to start looking up ways to get stronger so that we could face that man again and come out more victorious.
Francis, you notice Francis, like, while you're in the middle of talking, he just gets this, like, really sour look on his face as he just lets his fork drop on the plate and he holds his head.
We have a year. I'm not going to explain that right here, because we're in public. But I think you understand what I mean.
I do. I understand perfectly well.
Tiffany let me know this morning. And,
Why couldn't it be 3 years? Why couldn't it be, like, oh, hey, there's no time limit. Why does it have to be a year?
you know why.
I know exactly why, and I'm frustrated that I understand it.
Things only last so long, and there's half of it.
Yeah, I know. But it's just
So-
one more thing that serves as a distraction for what I need to get done.
Alright, it's a year. It's not like you can't get something done over the months involved in that. We'll just have to make sure we can't. We'll have to see if we could find him. We don't have to. It doesn't have to be on the first thing on a plate, but it doesn't have to be. I don't want it to be the last thing on a plate either. Just something we do while we're doing other things.
You do remember the kind of time limit. I mean, yeah, I have 2 years, but it's still a time limit that includes one of my kids. And now there's another thing that's going to have to find find a place in our timeline within the next year that's going to take away from that.
I don't think it'll take away from it. I just think it's something that will be happening in the background that we need to be aware of. And if we happen to cross paths with this man again, deal with it. Because I'm sure we will. He seems to be a bit in our space with our
What
friend.
we need to do is find the other half, not deal with this guy. If it coincides that works, then yeah, we could find the other guy and not find the other half of the heart. That's...
I want to find the man. The man will know where it is.
The man won't tell us where it is.
It's amazing what you tell when I have a nifty new ability. I could just rip it right out of his head if I wanted to. I won't. But if he leaves me no other choice, I will.
I'm going to be in my room. Actually, you know what? No, I'm going to... No, not right now. I'll wait until I'm back to Jupiter.
There's no reason to be upset or anything like that. There's other things. It's just happening in the background.
Look, I get what you're trying to say, Olsen, but that's really going to make it difficult for me to change my opinion of the situation. I'm sorry, but it involves Oscar.
Why does this involve Oscar?
He kind of blinks at you for a second. Right. No, it's all fine. Whatever happens, happens, and we'll see what we can get done within the year. I get that. In the background. Still. It's time. Either way. I'm going to be in my room if anyone needs anything. And whenever we're ready to leave, I'll be ready to go.
Of course.
Francis goes upstairs and will proceed to focus on getting Palmer back up and running while he waits for us to leave.
I will look to Quill and Bellows and Callum, since Callum is also sitting there still.
It just like has the fork in their mouth as you look over and just see like this faintest little smile.
And I'll smile back. This is weird. I assume you'll be tracking him as well.
He made an imbalance and
Did.
created monsters out of people and mutated fey creatures. So yes, this will also be my quarry. But it also may be one of the other kindred of my patron.
I understand. If you find out any information about him and we're not in the same space, do let me know. I might happen to be close to him at the time.
I'll send Viral.
Okay.
As like the little raven like poofs out of the hat.
Thank you for working with us. It's been interesting getting to know you.
Been very interesting to get to know you a lot too. You're very strange,
So are
but not
you.
in a bad way.
I'll keep smiling at them and just let them continue eating their pancakes, and I'll turn to Quill and so
See Quill like nodding off a little bit. Bellows is just like eating their food, eating her food, and like looks over at you. So we where to now?
I guess back to Ingford. There's nothing here for us anymore. I would like to say goodbye to Ivy and the like, but yeah, there's nothing here for us anymore. We did a job, and yeah. Unless I know we get to there's the magic thing that's happening in about a week or so, and then I don't really have anything on my plate after that. Anything you'd like to do? And she'll throw that question out to both Quill and Bellows, since nobody else is here.
I'll take a look at getting some more equipment for the road. Though this place got trashed, it's still a very nice place to get stuff.
So I went to the leather worker this morning, so I could go out with you if you'd like. And I'll look
Yeah.
to Quill. You can go out as well.
I have to go meet the blue man to see if he has any more um spells.
Okay. We'll go with you. How about that?
That'd be nice.
Okay.
As he's like nodding in and out.
Did you sleep?
Um yes. No. Yes,
You're
no.
lying to me.
Not much.
Okay. I'll flag down the waitress. 2 cups of coffee. Just for him.
He nods and like gives you a smile, and like goes and gets that coffee.
We're gonna put so much caffeine into this little man. And then I guess wait an hour, and then or we can go do their stuff, and then go pick up my stuff in an hour. So
So
I guess we run into Akir and Gallon on the way back. They can join our little supply gathering trip.
this is actually we're gonna stop for the night.
Mm-hmm.
And
You
with
know.
that, we won.
Congratulations, you won.
I'm
We
really,
defeated
I'm really
the boss
excited about my
today.
little wands.
We defeated a boss today. Social interaction.
Yay!
Boss, recuperation.
The day after getting your ass handed to you.
Yeah, no, that was rough. But I'm really excited about my little tattoos. I'll probably show those off eventually. You'll all see them eventually. She just doesn't
Have a
know.
descriptor when you do your Eldritch Blasts now.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
Seeing
fun.
as a kid has
Um.
never seen you, sleeveless, he's going to assume you've always had those.
No. No. Because
He doesn't know.
I kind of want to do like. I'll think of it. I've been thinking of it the entire time that I've been sitting here, actually. But I kind of want to have like um when I do like the Eldritch Blast, kind of have them like spiral down my arms from the tattoos, but only when I do the elemental ones. And then my tattoos turn into like flames or ice or electricity for that like little time being.
Acid, so you match blue.
It's just red acid.
Just
I only know one type of acid, it's just the red one.